Well, Bob, if Sterling wins today and leads the most laps, he'll take over the points lead, and he would collect that $100,000 bonus from RJR. Also, the second leg of the Winston Million. If he can come up with the victory here today, he would pocket another $100,000. Throw in what the race purse is, and you're looking at more than $300,000. A very big payday indeed for Sterling Marlin. But this team has had some bad luck as of late. 3 crew members have been hurt over the past couple of weeks. Engine builder Rhett Pittman almost drowned in a boating accident a couple of weeks ago. The jackman Robert Larkins last week at Martinsville working on the car around the battery cable, shorted it out on his ring finger. Got a bad burn there, but he is all right. On Wednesday night, back home in Abingdon, team owner Larry McClure in an automobile accident broke his left arm. Larry is out of the hospital now, and he is back at home watching today. Now, the one positive thing that all the crew members tell me have come out of this, Vinny and Ned, is the fact that bad luck always comes in threes, so they expect to have good luck today.
And folks, as dominant as that 4-car was in Daytona, Ned, he's not running on the same racetrack here at Talladega.
No, totally different racetrack. Even though there isn't that much difference in the size of the track, the banking is 2 more degrees here. The turns are a lot wider, and it takes a different setup under the race car here. Drafting, of course, plays a big role here, and accidents can play a big role as well, because you very seldom see 1-car accidents here.
We're going to see cars side by side, 3 abreast, sometimes 5 abreast at Talladega. The entry in the corner, exit the corner, it's so smooth getting in and getting off these corners. Just a different racetrack than Daytona.
Totally different, and it's fast. For more on speed, let's go to the pit road and Bill Weber.
Well, Ned, there have been 51 Winston Cup races here at Talladega. 25 times the winner has come from the front row. 10 times the winner has come from the pole. On the pole today for the first time in 109 races, Terry Labonte in the Kellogg Chevrolet, qualifying at over 196.5 miles an hour. But that team had to change motors this morning. They were unhappy with their performance in final practice. They put in the same motor they qualified on. Outside the front row is Loy Allen, making a return to Winston Cup racing and a return to TriStar Motorsports. Loy has flexed his superspeedway strength in qualifying in the past, but has seldom been a factor at the finish. The first of a limited 3-race deal between Loy and TriStar is today. But here's one of the favorites for the race, Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Chevrolet. A fast car, a factor at Daytona. However, the car fell off the jack during a pit stop, and that took Jeff out of contention. The last 3 races, all on short tracks, a first, a second, and a 3rd place finish. Today, back to the Superspeedway, and a lot of incentive for this young man. He's only 70 points behind Dale Earnhardt in the chase for the Winston Cup Championship. Bob, there's a lot on the line and a lot at the finish line here at Talladega today.
But one of the major concerns is weather. The temperature is 73 and skies are listed as partly cloudy. The weatherman says there could be some rain later this afternoon. Let's hope it is much later this afternoon and we can get all of this Winston Select 500 in for you. The cars have been started. We'll be back in just a moment. The cars are on their warm-up lap coming through the tri-oval here. Talladega Superspeedway is 2.66 miles in length. The front stretch is 4,300 feet. The back stretch is 4,000. The corners are banked at 33 degrees. The front stretch at 18 and the back stretch is at 2 degrees. Our race analysis shows that the pole speed was 196.5. The record for the race 186.2. They'll have to pit between laps 40 and 45 for fuel, and they're going for a purse in excess of $1.3 million here this afternoon. The starting lineup, Terry Labonte for the first time since Watkins Glen in 1991 has the pole position of the Kellogg's Cornflake Chevy car number 5. Loy Allen is outside row number 1, exactly where he started in this race last year. Second row, Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford number 6 and Bobby Labonte, last week's pole center of the Interstate Battery Chevy number 18. Dale Jarrett has the 5th starting position alongside Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Refinishes Chevy. The 4th row, Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee in car number 4, and Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin's Dick Trickle, car number 15, will start in 8th position. As you take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, the cars come down off that banking, head down the backstretch, and the light atop the pace car is out. We will hopefully get a green this time around.
500 miles at Talladega, nose to tail, bumper to bumper. I'm telling you, when the day is over, they will not be physically tired, but they will be exhausted from just the mental strain of sitting there on someone's bumper at 195 miles per hour.
especially here at Talladega. The pictures and the sounds are so exciting. So if we set out for a couple of laps and just watch the TV with you, why, everybody will be happy.
Yeah, I'll be very happy because I am a great race fan, and this is a great place to watch a race.
They're always close together and a lot of passing. Now, for the fans that might be wondering what that, if they don't understand what the seconds are down there, that's the amount of time that they were slower than the pole setter, Terry Labonte.
You can see clear back to row 18. Dave Marcus was only just a tick over a second slower. Now we arrive at the provisional starters, including Jeff Bodine and Ward Burton on the last row. That's the starting grid for the Winston Select 500. There is Sterling Marlin getting set to go. There's Steve Grissom, Ted Musgrave, Mark Martin will have the roof cam again. Ken Schrader will also have a roof cam, and Dick Trickle will also have an in-car camera. Well, here we go. The Winston Select 500 at Talladega Superspeedway is about to get the green flag for 500 miles, 188 laps of racing. Here they come, and the green is out.
They're 3 abreast, back in the over about 15th spot. Morgan Shepherd right in the middle.
Through the tri-oval. Loy Allen leads for the first time since here in July of last year. From Mark Martin looking back on Dale Jarrett and others.
There we see Jeff Gordon up against the fence. I mean, he's not hitting the fence, I'm sorry, running that high groove.
This car apparently just feels good up there. And yesterday in the ARCA race, the high groove was the best groove for over half of the race.
And it looks like it's the better groove right now because they're just blowing by Mark Martin, who has no one to race with. Now maybe can get some air off Dale Jarrett.
Look how quickly Dale Earnhardt has gotten up there. He
Started in 16th place. We talked about in our NASCAR Today show about big crashes here at Talladega. It's easy to see how you have big crashes. All the cars running right together.
3 wide again into turn 1 as Loy Allen continues to lead, and Terry Labonte running second, and Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon. Look at this, 3 wide off the corner.
Boy, Jimmy Spencer has to be holding his breath, and his car owners too. That's not a good position to be in, but there's not a thing in the world he can do about it there until they spread out a little bit and give him room to get him either the inside or the outside.
And finally, Morgan Shepherd moves over to the inside. Now Earnhardt right behind. Is that Michael Waltrip, the Pennzoil car, trying to get to the front?
Mark Martin down on the inside lane. Nobody to race with down there. Martin is trying to get up into the outside, but can't.
There's a sign on the dash that says, "Get well, Larry." Larry McClure said at home in Abingdon, Virginia, watching this, involved in an automobile accident.
Dale Earnhardt has picked up 8 positions in the first 3 laps.
And we see Martin has been able to get by Dale Jarrett. Now he moves up in that high line. Loy Allen still leading this thing.
Boy, what a difference from a couple of weeks ago. Saying he didn't feel he was doing the car justice. Here's Earnhardt making a move, and Sterling Marlin coming with him.
The inside lane begins to form as Earnhardt has drafting help from Sterling Marlin, and right behind Marlin is Mark Martin.
And we see Robert Presley on the outside, the 33 Skoll car, as Earnhardt pulls alongside of Presley.
This is the battle for 6th position on back.
And Sterling Marlin trying to blow by Dale Earnhardt. What a run he got, Ned.
He did have an awfully good run there, and he's going to make the pass.
Wow, they're 3 abreast. Earnhardt right in the middle. Wow. Now Earnhardt goes up the hill, and he gets Presley finally to back off the gas and let him have that spot.
And now, that's Strickland going to come in the middle. Is that Strickland or is that Presley in there in the green?
Yeah, that's Strickland.
Yep. That's Strickland in the
Alongside Todd Bodine as they come through the trioval with Michael on the outside.
Now we see Hutch Strickland just pull away.
Well, that was pretty impressive that he pulled that. Ooh, a little bit of a touch right there. Todd Bodine might have got into Hutch Strickland just a little bit. And here comes that Randy LaJoie in the black car coming up on the outside.
Now Mark Martin and Michael Waltrip trying to get by Robert Presley. That's Mark in the 6 car. Michael Waltrip in the yellow 30. Dale Jarrett back behind them in the black and red 28 car.
Everybody just trying to find a spot that'll work for them.
Ooh, Jimmy Spencer moves up right in front of Randy LaJoie.
The first 4 remain the same, with Loy Allen leading this race. Sterling Marlin slides into 5th. This is where the good racing is, though. This is back for about 10th on back. Rusty Wallace is buried somewhere. There he is, running alongside Jeff Purvis in 44th, behind Kyle Petty, in front of Greg Sachs, as Ricky Craven runs the low line through the corner.
There we see Jeff Bodine, the Exide battery car, number 7. An engine change this morning. He started dead last. He's moved up about 5 spots.
It's a 4-car breakaway up front, led by Loy Allen, with the Labonte brothers running 2nd and 3rd. Jeff Gordon is 4th, and Sterling Marlin runs in 5th position at the end of 7 of 188 laps at Talladega. Welcome back to ESPN Speed World at Talladega for the Winston Select 500. When we went to break just about 3 or 4 laps ago, it was a 4-car breakaway. But now look at it. Everybody is nose to tail and side by side. Loy Allen continues to lead, but Jeff Gordon has moved to 2nd. Bobby Labonte 3rd. Then comes Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, and then Terry Labonte.
Michael Waltrip, look, Jimmy Spencer has moved up into the top 10 in 8th spot. Earnhardt goes by Bobby Labonte on the outside. Now Labonte going to get hung on the inside.
Yeah, I think that outside is still the best groove here today. It's the fastest groove.
Dale Earnhardt started 16th and began the march to the front quickly. He had gained 2 positions just in 1 lap, and now he is 3rd.
Just about every car out there is still in the lead draft. There's a little bit of space there, but you know, they can pick that up.
Yeah, the first 17 cars are running pretty close together, then a little bit of real estate back to this group.
John Andretti was waving to somebody. I don't know what he was.
And Jeff Gordon makes a bid for the lead on the inside of turn number 3.
Well, what's Earnhardt going to do? Is he going to follow forward? He knows that outside groove is perhaps the fastest. And they might just be able to blow right on by Jeff Gordon.
Yeah,
is he strong enough to do it by himself?
Bobby Labonte got hung out to dry there a couple laps ago, Ned. He went back several positions, and Jeff Gordon stands to do the same thing. Look at everybody go around him.
Yep.
It looks like they're 10 miles an hour faster than Jeff Gordon right now, and they might be.
Yeah, they probably are. Dale Jarrett tried a little while ago. He got hung down there and see where he is back there in the pack. So Jeff finally gets him a place.
Fell into 8th position after battling for the lead.
Earnhardt up to 2nd place.
Earnhardt, the defending champion of the Winston Select 500, as we ride with Ken Schrader.
Now these are 2 cars owned by Rick Hendrick out of Hendrick Motorsports. Maybe they'll get hooked up and try to go to the front as Martin tries it on the inside.
Mark, nobody went with him. Let's see, will Sterling go with him? Let's see. Yeah, Sterling comes down there with him.
Ford standing up here on
Chevrolet.
And now Mark Martin's hung out to dry.
I think Mark was hoping that the 19 car, the Ford, there would pull down in front of him and help him, but so far that hasn't happened. Wow. Bobby Labonte's still down on the inside back there.
He's back to about 20 feet right now. He cannot get back to the outside.
Jimmy Spencer, he's making a move down there. Now he sees Mark Martin up there. He said, if I can get to him, he and I can go back up towards the front. Dale Jarrett might try to help them a little bit.
Steve Grissom in car number 29. He had to take a provisional to get into the lineup.
And Earnhardt goes to the bottom, trying, and he leads that lap. He has gotten 5 bonus points, but now then, is anybody going to go with him?
I don't think so. But he's going to try to squeeze between Marlin and Labonte. Well, he runs alongside Sterling.
Now there's no place to squeeze in there.
We see Bobby Labonte. He's still on the inside. As Earnhardt drops back on the lead, he's now running a 5th. Now here comes Mark Martin. Maybe he and Earnhardt can get hooked up and go to the front. Mark Martin, the number 6 car, the blue and white Valvoline Ford.
Boy, Jimmy Spencer is doing a great job. He's right behind Mark Martin. The frustration that Jimmy Spencer has had this season may be all coming out today. He started 19th, and he's up to 7th at the end of 13 laps.
Now Earnhardt has gotten back in line. He's left Mark Martin on the inside. But here comes Spencer with one great car. Maybe they can get
Riding on Dick Trickle's Quality Care Ford behind Robert Presley and beside Jimmy.
Now that car was fast yesterday in practice. Dick Trickle has a Robert Yates engine in his Quality Care Ford, and he was really fast out here yesterday and felt good about this race today.
the 2 Robert Yates cars, 2 Robert Yates engines running out together, Dick Trickle and Dale Jarrett.
They teamed up together yesterday to get some practice in and ran over 198 miles an hour. But they can't do that now because they're back in that pack.
And Sterling Marlin will go for the front into turn 1, running right beside Loy Allen, who has led the first 16 laps.
Loy Allen has Earnhardt, and Earnhardt on the outside. Jeff Gordon, he's trying to figure out which one of these guys do I help? Do I help my teammate Jerry Labonte, or do I fall in behind Earnhardt? He's still trying to figure it out. He wants to go with the Chevrolets, if that will work.
These are the most laps ever led by Loy Allen in one race. He still has it, headed for the completion of lap number 17. And now Terry Labonte is dropped down low.
And he had some help. Jeff Gordon is there now. Labonte goes back up in the high groove. There's Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, and Dale Jarrett down there on the inside. Now some other cars are moving down there.
And we got 3 wide again into the first turn. Ken Schrader right in the middle of them.
Now he's going to find a hole to get in. He does.
And the lead Terry Labonte on the outside. Looks like he's hooked up between Jeff Gordon.
Boy, went way down low.
Yeah, trying to break the draft, get away from those cars up there a little bit, to break that air cushion a little bit there, to maybe give him a little bit of an advantage.
Now we've got 4 Fords on the inside and 3 Chevrolets and a Pontiac on the outside.
Boy, that was probably the car was feeling a little bit light as close as he was running to those cars coming off the turn. They had a little air off those coming off the turn, so he could run down to the inside on the backstretch the last time just to give himself a little bit of stable air.
Terry Labonte, the leader now, with 2 by 2 behind him. 4 Fords on the inside. Make that 5.
Jeff Burton started near the end of the pack, started where, Bob? 37th, and he's worked his way up right to the lead draft.
Dale Jarrett dropped back there from Mark Martin. They've gone to the front again with Mark Martin and the car number 19 of Loy Allen.
Well, you've got to be impressed with the performance that Loy Allen is putting on here today. He dropped out of the lead, and now he has put himself right back in it. Martin now goes to the inside of Loy Allen and temporarily gets the lead out of corner number 2.
Well, he had himself a good run there with no help from the rear. Long way back to Dale Jarrett, the next car on the inside. But now you can see as they hit the straightaway that it's telling on him. They go by him on the outside.
Those cars hook up when they run nose to tail. There's just no car on the inside by himself that can keep up. Mark Martin was leading the race. Now Loy Allen moves over. Unless Mark Martin gets some air on his car, maybe that'll help Mark.
It should maybe suck him on by.
Meanwhile, the two Henry cars, the 5 and the 24, Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon trying to hook up and go back to the front.
Now Earnhardt has got down there and bushed up those Fords down in the inside. He said, hey, they look like they might have something going here. I want to be a part of it.
Well, the last lap was 193.86 miles an hour, and the separation from Loy Allen in the lead to the very last car is 3.5 seconds.
And Mark Martin finally takes the lead, moves back up in front of Loy Allen, but here comes Earnhardt on the inside. There's a gap for him. And Dale Jarrett.
John Kernan has more on the excellent run so far by Loy Allen.
Well, Loy Allen caught up on the high side now. He's dropped back from the lead to about 5th spot this morning. Told me the car felt very comfortable when he drafted. His main concern was his lack of experience with these guys. He says they still probably didn't trust him enough to draft with him all day long. He thought that would be one of his problems, having a dancing partner. Now let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And outstanding in their pitch, John, and Mark Smith, who owns this car, told me that Lloyd said this car would go anywhere he wants to point it on the racetrack. The car is handling absolutely perfectly. This is the same car they set on the pole for the Daytona 500 last year and set on the outside front row here last May. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Jeff Burton is the defending Max Race Cards Rookie of the Year. They're mired 31st in points, but I just talked to Donnie Richardson. He said Jeff isn't saying much. Actually, Donnie's the real driver at this point. He's coaching Jeff around the track. This is a brand new race car. They struggled here all weekend, qualified deep in the field, but Donnie said hang on because Jeff Burton is making his move to the front.
Well, that is an amazing run.
It is. He isn't doing any talking because he's very busy driving the race car. Started 37th. Has moved up to 4th position here at the end of 21 laps. Jeff Burton, car 8.
He was sweating getting into this race. That is amazing.
And right behind him then is Todd Bodine, who started 12th and has moved up to 5th.
And look at Burton. He's going to try to, on the high side there, get Todd Bodine to go with him. See if they can make that work. He's done something right coming up through there.
It's been all green so far at Talladega. The first 23 laps. Out front, it's Mark Martin, followed by Dale Earnhardt. We'll be right back. Back at Talladega, where Mark Martin continues to lead. Stacked up behind him, Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton.
There's our outside position of Loy Allen, who led 18-20 laps this race to begin with. He's hung on the inside now, and there's no gap for Loy Allen to get back in. There's Bobby Labonte, who started 4th. Now back in 15 spot. Sorry, Bobby.
You know, the entire field is still basically in the lead draft, except in Dave Martins. Dave has dropped off. He's running about 2/3 of a lap behind the leaders.
So 41 cars are running in the drafting line. And here is Dale Earnhardt taking the lead from Mark Martin. Dale Jarrett comes along to 2nd. And now the battle for 3rd between Jeff Martin and Mark Martin, and the crowd is going crazy.
Oh, Todd Bodine moved right in front of Jeff Gordon. Thank you, Lord, or Jeff, or whoever.
Or both. All together, yeah.
Michael Walker trying to get by Jeff Gordon. The Penzo car on the inside. No one to go with. Will Jeff let him in?
No. That's the battle for 6th spot. Waltrip and Jeff Gordon. And coming up on Sterling Marlin is the 15 of Dick Trickle.
Boy, those things look mean when they come up there on that camera, don't they?
They do.
And that's looking out of the 15 car up to Sterling Marlin.
Still Michael Walker, the Penzo car hung on the inside. Not able to get back. Ooh, Sterling, he thought about trying to fit in that hole. Sterling said, See Kenny Schrader right in front of Sterling Marlin. Or Schrader with the Budweiser car.
Hello, Michael caught down there. He's going to be hurting.
John Kernan has a report on Sterling Marlin.
Well, with pit stops coming up in less than 20 laps, Sterling Marlin has called in and complained that his car has gotten loose. Now, a lot of the cloud cover is starting to lift, and the sun has come out, so it might be heating up the track surface a little bit. That could be the problem. But look for them to pit between lap 40, 45, and come in and make an adjustment.
And Dale Jarrett has taken the lead with a little bit of help on the bottom side from Mark Martin. And also a big roar comes up from the crowd as Dale takes the lead from Dale Earnhardt.
When he gets to start-finish line, it'll be the first race he's led, first lap he has led this year. I believe he's going to do it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to do it.
And this crowd in Talladega, Alabama, very partisan towards that 28 car.
Remembering the heritage of the car.
That's right.
Amy Allison's ride in it. We're with Mark Martin looking over to Dale Earnhardt. Battle for second.
I'm surprised Earnhardt don't look over to grin at us.
Give us a high sign or something there. From the Family Channel blimp high above, you can see how close they are. Jimmy Spencer there running beside Sterling Martin on the bottom side.
Jimmy Spencer is trying his dead level best to get to the front.
Now Jarrett drops down to the inside, gives Mark Martin a little bit of a pull there, pulls him right on by Dale Earnhardt, helping his Ford buddies out there a little bit.
Here comes Top 09.
Bodine had contact with Ken Schrader and almost lost it.
Yeah, that was another close call.
Jeff Burton, the Rebestis car. Good run for Jeff Burton. Todd Bodine. There we see Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Todd Bodine. You know, that's about 3 teams that really haven't had a lot to yell about this year. They've got to feel good to be up near the front. And Todd Bodine and Jeff Burton off the pass.
Yeah, those cars seem to be working good together. Every once in a while you find a couple of cars, not necessarily two Fords. It can be a Ford and a Chevrolet or a Ford and a Pontiac, whatever. But sometimes two cars just seem to get together and hook up and run good together, and those two seem to be doing that.
Watch this contact between Todd Bodine and the 25 right there.
Man, oh man. Talk about a big wreck. Now that would have been a big wreck.
It really would have been.
And again, this was at speeds in excess of 193. Last lap was 193.8.
You see Jeff Burton. Looks like he's hung on the inside. Burton back about 12th, isn't it? Looks like it. Behind Greg Sachs. There's the Waltrip brothers, Darrell Waltrip and Michael.
Teaming up to go by Jimmy Spencer. Ooh, Earnhardt.
Todd Bodine.
Todd Bodine. Boy, he's got to feel like a bouncing board out there.
Yeah.
Chevrolet's ganged up on the inside trying to get by Todd Bodine.
And there goes a Pontiac and Michael Waltrip down there also.
And Jimmy Spencer moved up on the outside.
Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin was hoping that they'd keep racing side by side back there. They had opened up a little bit of a gap, but that'll go away in a hurry as Earnhardt and Ken Schrader now have singled themselves out there. And you can see that Earnhardt is mowing that distance down.
And Ken Schrader has had a good first 31 laps, coming from 20th to 4th.
Spencer, boy, he got a run. Car 23 down on the inside of Michael Waltrip.
And there's Darrell Waltrip. But you know, folks, I went down to garage area on Friday and Darrell come up. What do you mean I hit the 18th car? I didn't hit the 18th car. Darrell, I thought you hit the 18th car. I'm sorry, but folks, Darrell said you did not hit the 18th car. And I got to believe him.
It's tough to make a call on who did what to whom when you're up here in the broadcast booth and right down there with the drivers.
He called me Ben, and when he says Ben, I know you're in trouble.
Here comes Ken Schrader to third below Mark Martin. He's got drafting help from Jeff Gordon.
And those Chevrolets have teamed up on those Fords. And they got one of them, got him back to 5th place now. And they're going to work on the other one there.
Got a Ford leading, though. It's Dale Jarrett.
Now, this is what NASCAR envisions. You know, a Ford, Chevrolet, Ford, and then want a Pontiac in there. They'd like to have these 3 makes of cars running just like this at every racetrack all year long.
Jarrett leading Dale Earnhardt. Ken Schrader running in third spot. Jeff Gordon is fourth, and Mark Martin is fifth. 32 laps into the Winston Select 500. Back in a moment. 35 laps into the Winston Select 500, and here's the Autolite Field summary. We're riding with the second place car of Ken Schrader. Just ahead of him is the leader, Dale Jarrett, and Kenny took a look to the inside, but decided to fall back in line as they went into turn number one.
As you see the Autolite Field summary, all these cars on the lead lap and 40 cars are in the draft. Elton Sawyer forward are all basically in the lead draft.
Okay, here comes Schrader trying to make a move down on the inside. He has Jeff Gordon, his teammate, working with him, and they roll right on by. Schrader does. Here comes the 24 car of Jeff Gordon. He'll take over the second place.
Now Spencer moves up. He says, I think I'll fall in behind her. And look at Darrell Walter. OBW, awful racing.
Coming up right on the inside, which is a trademark of his. He loves to run on the inside. Darrell Walter.
Jerry Punch has won Jimmy Spencer.
After struggling for much of the 1995 season, Spencer having a great run today, but they have borrowed an engine from Jack Roush Racing. Roush has 5 engines in the race. His 2 cars, Musgrave and Martin, along with the 21 car of Shepard, Spencer, and Kenny Wallace. And Spencer running awfully well, even outrunning the 2 Roush cars right now, Bob.
Spencer doing a great job out there. We focus in on here, led by Mark Martin, looking back on Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt.
I get the impression that maybe Earnhardt's chassis not exactly right now because he's backed up 4 or 5 spots in the last few laps.
He was running second not too long ago. Schrader got by, and then several others.
It's still Ken Schrader leading over Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, then comes Martin.
I tell you what, we're going to see something here in just a minute. If we can go green for about another 10 laps, we're going to see all these cars make pit stops. And you talk about some pumped up pit crews, they are going to be pumped. You're going to see pit stops like you ain't never seen before.
And boy, they will be so important because a second lost in the pits is, what, a couple hundred feet out here on the racetrack.
About 300 feet, as a matter of fact.
Labonte trying to slide up in front of Todd Bodine. On the bottom is Robert Presley along with Greg Sachs. Dave Marcus has been lapped, so there are now 41 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Dave was sitting out there by himself. The reason was that he lost the lap sitting out there by himself, and it was just a matter of time that they'd run him down on this track and put him a lap down.
The 26 car of Hut Strickland.
There he is, right in front of Terry Labonte, right behind the 4 car of Sterling Marlin. There he is.
Qualified 17th, Benny, and he's running 10th.
Right, great run for Hut.
Alabama veteran.
Well, we have about 9 laps unofficially till we get to the pit stops, and we want to make sure that we show you all of those. So we'll take a break here and be back with more live coverage from Talladega Superspeedway. Welcome back to Talladega, where the race continues under green, and Sunday Night Baseball tonight makes a stop at the Kingdome in Seattle. Cecil Fielder, the Tigers, against home run threat Ken Griffey Jr. and the Mariners. 7:56 tonight. Set your watches on ESPN. It is still Ken Schrader leading. Jeff Gordon second.
See, Dale Jarrett is third. Darrell Waltrip is fourth, and Jimmy Spencer is fifth. Now they're back 3 abreast. Robert Preston in the 33 car. Michael Waltrip in 30. That's Greg Sachs to 40.
Back off, Robert.
There, boy, Robert. Good job. Uh-oh, here comes Robert back
up in there.
Here comes Kyle Petty, the 42 car, and John Andretti in the white 37, the Kmart.
Wow, look at that move that Kyle made.
Wow. And Andretti went with him.
Man, he just cut across there. He knew he had to open him.
He turned left at 190.
He sure did.
I thought there was a sign that said no left turns. Man.
That could be almost anybody.
Yeah. Talk about the importance of spotters.
They're all around.
They're all around. They're all around.
Get that, brother. They're all around. Morgan Shepherd to Sitco Ford.
They're all around. They're all around.
Did you say clear all around or they're all around?
No, he said clear all around.
Okay.
Yep.
But there are cars all around.
Yeah, exactly what I thought.
Jerry, what's the strategy regarding pit stops, which should be coming up?
Well, they're discussing it here in the Ken Schrader Budweiser pits. Rick Hendrick just came running down pit road and grabbed Ken Howes and trying to coordinate the pit stops among the Hendrick teams. We are being told that Schrader would come in on lap 49. They have told Ray Evernham that they want to bring the 24 car in on lap 49, and they've also even gone next door to a Ford team. Morgan Shepherd said, if you come in at the same time, we'll all draft back to the front in a hurry. Let's check out pit road with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, Tony Glover tried to talk Ray Evernham and that crew hitting on lap 47. The word we get from Tony Sterling pitting lap 47. They will make a chassis adjustment to tighten that car up. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
Well, down here, Buddy Parrott has been running around in the Meineke Steve Grissom pit looking for a partner. Their plan is to try and get in here a little bit early. They didn't want to come in alone.
They're all the way around.
Follow
They're on
out
the
the
outside.
field. So now it is the 29 car and the 27 looking to pit early here and try and gain an advantage.
Well, if they pit on lap 47, they'll be doing so in a lap and a half because we're on lap 46 right now. Look at the telemetry.
199 at the end of the straightaway. Let's see how many miles per hour he'll drop in the corner as he goes in 187. That's 12 miles an hour.
And he just stays there.
Yeah, he'll start accelerating as he comes off that corner. Watch as he builds back up. Oh, some car coming in the pits.
Michael Waltrip, the first to break away and come in for a pit stop in the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Steve, next time by. Next.
Steve Grissom, next time by, they told pit.
65 miles an hour is the speed limit on pit road today.
Okay, guys, you need a great pit stop right now. They know that, though.
We understand that the 4 and the 6 are going to team up for pit stops.
Right sides only, right sides, and they're taking some tape or putting some tape on the left front. I couldn't tell. I think they were putting tape on. That'll make the car just a little bit faster.
Loosen it up just a little bit. Let's see who comes in this time, if anyone.
Doesn't look like that anybody, well, somebody has slowed down, but those running up front are staying out there. Schrader coming down and completing another lap. That was Kenny Wallace that broke off and came in. There he is getting service. And again, I think they want to replace the right sides.
They did and made a chassis adjustment to the left rear.
Here's Bill.
Steve Grissom is on pit road. The plan was to come in early. They're going to change 2 right side tires. They've got the fuel in, working on the right side, cleaning off the grill. The Meineke Chevrolet down and away. Nice catch by the gas man. A tire gets away. Right behind him, Elton Sawyer. And the Hooters Ford is in. They're going to the right side also, cleaning the windshield, dumping in the Unical fuel. Elton guns the engine. 65 miles an hour is the maximum on pit road. About 4,200 RPM. With this long of a drive down pit road, you have to be very careful that you don't burn a piston. Elton is away.
Several are coming in, Bill. Several coming in, but the first 5 remain on the racetrack. And here comes a whole gaggle of cars down pit road, led by Mark Martin.
Looks like the caution flag is out. John Kernan.
Sterling Marlin is in 2 tires. Right sides only in fuel. They also make a chassis adjustment. They plan to take tape off the grill and also on the left side around the wedge out as they try to tighten that car up. Robert Presley is also in for a 2-tire change. Right side, they're having a little problem with the right rear tire on Robert Presley. Now let's go to Bill Weber as Sterling Marlin leads.
Right side tires for the Ray Bestis Ford. Jeff Burton is away. They got the fuel in. Also 2 tires for Jeff Bodine. Let's go to Mr. Derry Punch.
And they are waiting on Kenny Schrader at the far end of pit road. And finally, Schrader making his way down at 65 miles per hour. You know, Rick Hendrick came down and told the crew, guys, you're leading the race. This one is for Papa Joe. Papa Joe Hendrick, listed as the owner of the Budweiser Chevrolet. He is back in Charlotte. We are told he's having heart trouble, and they want to win this one very badly for him. Let's go back to John Kernan.
Jeff Gordon overshoots his pit. They have to back it up. That's going to cost him valuable time here on pit road. No chassis adjustment. They will put on right side tires, take on fuel. Now let's go down to Jared Punch with Schrader.
Tires with Schrader. Frank Edwards puts one round to bite. Schrader complaining of the car being slightly loose. They change the right side tire. He is down, and Earnhardt's car stalls momentarily. Now he is down as Jeff Gordon heads back down pit road. Here is Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt as they work continues in the pits on the Coors Light Pontiac of Kyle Petty.
A very busy pit road, and some of the cars had to take evasive action and go to the grass when they were coming in. They're moving out single file.
Dale Jarrett had taken over the lead. He went an extra lap. He's coming into the pits right now.
There he is coming down pit road to the attention of his pit crew.
Jerry, are you there?
We are in the Texaco Havoline pits of Dale Jarrett, the same car that led the most laps in these races at Talladega, both races a year ago. Ernie Irvin driving at the time did not win either race, but led a lot of laps. Dale Jarrett hoping to take that car to victory lane today. Right side tires only. They top it off with fuel. He is down. Let's go up pit road.
With Jerry, some bad news for Sterling Marlin fans. At least that's the way it appears right now. I just talked to his crew chief, Tony Glover. He tells me they have lost the second. They're hoping it's just a plug wire is off and that they can get a caution and get the car in and be able to open the hood and check and make sure that all the plug wires are tight. Let's go back down to Dr. Punch.
Well, they are checking in the 28 crew to see if they might have gotten the car full of fuel. They think they got the car full of fuel. They're still trying to determine. They'll have to weigh the gas cans and find out. Hopefully they got the car topped off. If not, it could be a very costly mistake.
I don't know, Dad. It only took him 12.1 seconds for that pit stop, and I was wondering that when he pulled out.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they would have gotten the car full of fuel in just 12 seconds.
Norman Kashimushu is the gas man on that car. He's very good, but I don't know if he got that thing full in 12 seconds.
Here comes Mark Martin along with Jeff Gordon. And Jarrett will fall in behind them.
And this should be for the lead now. Mark Martin should be leading the race. Unless we have somebody that hasn't pitted.
Yeah, I believe that Mark is the leader. They're the first three. Running back and forth would be Schrader, then Darrell Waltrip. Jerry, what's the deal on the 28? Did he get it full of fuel?
I just spoke to Norman Kosovic, the gas man, and said yes, they got it full of fuel. He was putting gas in it and watching him. Gas began to come out the overflow, so it had to be full of fuel. So they pulled the can out, dropped the jack, and we're away.
Norman, you the man.
Yeah, I was going to say, you did a heck of a job if you got that thing full of fuel. All right, so the first set of pit stops have been completed, and it is Mark Martin along with Jeff Gordon. Running in third place is Dale Jarrett. Back in a moment. The massive Talladega Superspeedway is viewed from the Family Channel blimp. It has been with us for many races this season. This will be the final one. We'll have it with us, but thanks, guys, for all the tremendous shots from the Family Channel blimp.
You mean you aren't going to fly that thing to Sears Point and be with us?
No,
Of course, they could be there by Sunday if they decide to fly out.
But they do a great job in providing those overhead shots. Now a field summary for you. Mark Martin is the leader of the race. We're riding with him. Looking back on second place, Jeff Gordon. 54 laps have been completed, and the average speed is 190.332. We have been green all the way, and the last lap was 194.8.
Wow. We're averaging 190 even with that pit stop.
Yep, 190.4. Wow.
They are moving on. Now, Dale Jarrett had lost the draft of Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, but then Ken Schrader came along, Darrell Waltrip, they picked it right up, and now they have picked up the leaders.
Only one car a lap down, Dave Marcus. Listening to Ted Musgrave's spotter.
Kenny Wallace just went a lap down a few laps ago.
There we see the Family Channel car. Bill Elliott. Right behind Bill Elliott. That's Jerry Cope on the outside of Elliott. Elliott's in the red car, number 94. There he is. McDonald.
Still there.
Still there. He's going no place, he said.
By the way, Bill Elliott is carrying in the car
And
today. The badge number of a police officer who was killed in the line of duty today.
In Montgomery,
Alabama. Yep. Well, they're still running in huge packs, and here's the biggest one.
Now, Sterling Marlin was out of this pack just a moment ago, but as Jerry Punch, or one of our reporters reported, he evidently is on 7 cylinders because he is slowly dropping back.
Well, this is about from 11th back through 20-some, probably 25 or something.
Jeff Bodine has made a pretty good march toward the front. He started in 41st position, took a provisional, moved up to 34th by lap 26, and now at the end of 55 laps is in 14th.
That's the two Bodine brothers, Jeff in the 7, Todd in the 75.
Right behind the 75, you'll find the 2 car of Rusty Wallace.
He had an awfully good pit stop and picked up a lot of position. Good for that team, though.
It's up to 19th.
So John Andretti behind Derek Cole. Ted Musgrave finished a very close second last week.
Dale Earnhardt moves alongside Ken Schrader.
Earl Walter just passed Schrader in turns 1 and 2. Now Earnhardt coming by down on the inside. See Darrell up there in 4th place. 4 cars up there ahead of him.
Once again, we got a report that made a chassis adjustment on that pit stop. Could it be that the car is getting loose once again?
Those guys don't want to run side by side too long back there. Of course, and you'll get away from them if they're careful.
Ricky Rudd has moved into the mix here, running behind Earnhardt alongside Schrader.
He must have had an awfully good pit stop earlier because he was pretty far back in the pack before that round of pit stops. He needs to run hard to get some of that $50,000 back.
Right.
Was fine here in Friday.
We'll see Robert Preston in the 33 car.
For those of you who weren't watching NASCAR today, our half-hour pit race and don't know about it, Rudd was fined $50,000. The team was for having an illegal hydraulic in the car to raise and lower the back of it.
You know, Charlie Presser, the crew chief, Robert's evidently had a great pit stop because there Robert is right in the mix of things.
They're the first 4 being led by Mark Martin.
And you can see the distance there. Dale Earnhardt running in 5th place when he and Schrader were running side by side for a lap or 2. How much of a distance those 4 cars have moved on down. Can they team up in a draft together and run that, force them down?
The question is, can they be patient enough to stay behind each other and draft up to the...
Well, when you're sitting there running, say in Schrader's place, you think, my car's faster than his. I can lead us faster. I can get us up there quicker. But you get in front, maybe it don't go fast. Of course, the crewmen are always calling the car and say, hey, you're running faster with this car in front than you are with the other car. So sometimes you don't know that until you try it.
Almost a third of the race is completed already. We don't want to jinx anybody here, but the record for fewest cautions in a Winston Select 500, 2 in 1985. We've gone all the way so far under green. Let's hope we can continue that effort.
Earnhardt and that crew are catching the front foursome. They've lined up together, doing a good job of drafting there. Reeling them in. The closer they get, the more they'll be in each lap.
And Darrell Waltrip has fallen back a few car lengths, so that will help Earnhardt.
Yep, they can pick up that draft a little bit quicker.
Darrell Waltrip ran his first NASCAR Winston Cup race here on May 7th of 1972. Jerry Punch has more on Ken Schrader.
We saw Kenny Schrader make a move toward the front prior to that pit stop. They came in and Kenny had said the car had gotten very loose. They put 2 right side tires and put about a round and a half of bite in the car. Now Kenny says the car's gotten tight. He's having trouble getting the car turned. That's why he is dropped back a little bit. Hopefully the track will come to end and the car will loosen up for the next 15 or so laps and can begin to make the charge back toward the front. Bob?
Looks like they hung Darrell Waltrip out to dry as everybody forms a line to the bottom.
Yep, they just drive right on by down on the inside as they.
Now Darrell moves in the middle of that pack right between Robert Presley and Terry Labonte.
That exchange didn't cost him any distance, I don't believe. Earnhardt seems to still be about the same distance behind the third place car of Dale Jarrett.
It is still Mark Martin leading 63 laps into the 188 lap. Winston Select 500 from Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. We'll be right back. Derek Cope has crashed hard here at Talladega on the 67th lap. The accident here in the Tri-Oval. I didn't see it start, but I did see him hit the wall nearly head-on right in the Tri-Oval. And he is moving around in the cockpit, and that's the most important.
John Andretti was involved in it as well, Bob. You see his car going around with damage to the right front.
The accident started as they exited turn 4. Here it is. Let's see if we can tell exactly what happened to Derek Cope in the straight arrow car. Here he comes off the corner, and he and John Andretti make contact.
But Derek maybe tried to go up a little bit and didn't realize that Andretti was up there. They made contact. A lot of cars right there running close together. It's a miracle that more were not involved.
Now watch this. As Cope looks like he's going for the infield, but now the car veers, makes a right-hand turn. Watch.
And not anything he can do about it.
Almost
Man.
hit him. Oh. Man. He is out of the car, however, and it appears as if he is okay. Boy, that is good news. Derek Cope came into this race 12th in the point standings. Here it is from another angle. Ted Musgrave's in-car camera, actually.
Ted never lifted. He saw an opening there, and that was the thing to do. Keep his foot to the floorboard.
Phil Elliott was very close to being involved in that crash, but I think he got by unscathed. Meanwhile, here they come. Those on the lead lap are eligible to come in for a pit stop. Sterling Marlin has stayed out to lead a lap.
But he's on 7 cylinders right now. He doesn't have any choice to get those bonus points while he can. Every car except 2, I think, is going to make a pit stop.
And they'll probably all get 4 tires this time. They only took on right side tires during the green flag.
We already see the 24 car going around changing the left side. 28 car already changing left side on his way. And looks like that Dale Jarrett is going to win the race out of the pit. You see a tire going across pit road. This will be Ricky Rudd. Here comes Spencer. Earnhardt right in front of Jeff Gordon. Ricky Rudd changed the left sides only.
Sterling Marlin will come in next time, and this caution will allow him to raise the hood and check to see if they can determine why he's lost a cylinder. 67 laps completed. Back in just a moment. We are back at Talladega, where the caution remains on. They're cleaning up the racetrack from this accident.
Derek Cope and John Andretti get together coming off of turn 4 almost as you enter pit road, and Derek Cope gets the worst end of the bargain. See, Andretti goes on by and he slams into the wall, hit on right. But Derek did get out of the car, fortunately, and walk away.
Now let's take a look at the pit stop summary. Mark Martin came in first, is now 4th. Jeff Gordon lost 4 positions. Dale Jarrett gained 2, and you can see Rudd and Spencer also in their pit summary. Let's go to Bill Weber.
With Derek Cope, who is unhappy, has been patiently waiting. Derek, you're okay. What happened?
Well, it's just a mistake on my part. You know, I had the straight arrow forward up on the bottom side, trying to go back underneath Michael Andretti, and he got on the outside, and I started to move up in front of him and thought I had room, didn't have it, and he got in. We got together there and hurt both race cars. It's unfortunate for straight arrow held south of the end. We had a good race car today.
Okay, Derek Coleman, out of the race here at Talladega, back upstairs.
Derek better go back inside. That was not Michael Andretti. It was John Andretti. He said Michael Andretti.
Didn't notice it. The green is back out, by the way, and Dale Jarrett has taken off here a little bit.
It looks like they're about 4 deep back there, at least 3 deep coming off of turn 2. Heading down into turn 3. They're going to Michael Walker making 3 deep. Rusty Wallace in the middle. Bobby Hamilton on the outside there.
Now Ricky Rudd is pulled up on the back of Dale Jarrett. There's, what is that, 6 cars? And there's Chevrolet. Oh, that's, I thought somebody blew up and went through that oil drive.
Scare me to death, Benny. Stop that.
Jimmy Spencer's hung on the inside.
John, what did they find out about the 4 car?
Well, Bob, talking to Tony Glover just a moment ago, he says what they have found on the 4 car is it is something they cannot fix today. They're going to have to ride around 7 cylinders out there and hope the engine lasts all day long. Now, Jeff Gordon came in running second, went back out, I believe, running 6th, lost 4 spots. The reason is when he got into his pit stall, he was too close to the left side of the car, too close to the wall, presented a problem for the jackman, and that cost him some extra seconds here in the pit.
He's back up to 4th, and it's a very expensive problem for Sterling Marlin because the leader of the points after this race gets a $100,000 bonus. And of course, if he would win today, he would get a $100,000 bonus from Winston for the moment. But if he should go on then and win a third of the 4 crown jewels from NASCAR, it would be worth $1 million.
So he's not going to win here today, but
He's got 2 more chances.
he can win the Coca-Cola 600 Charlie and the Mountain Dew 500 Dogs and then still get his $1 million.
Right.
Well, this race he could do the same thing.
Is that correct? Cramfield summary, where there have been 7 leaders in this event so far, and with his lap led here today, Dale Earnhardt has now led at least 1 lap in every super speedway race this season.
2, 4, 6, 8. What is that? 10 cars. 2 by 2.
That's going to cost them some speed. Those cars in front of them are going to pull away if they aren't careful.
Looks like ducks go in the water, doesn't it, Bob?
You have the big trickle there. You see, sells that steering wheel a little bit. Doesn't make any big radical moves, but still has to move around quite a bit. He's caught right in the middle of that big pack.
Turning. You always want to keep that steering wheel moving so that you can just feel what the back of the car is doing.
Boy, it looks so easy.
Yeah, right. Don't try this at home. No.
But you need to stay out there right now so you get by Morgan.
The spotter saying, telling, hey, that faster groove is, that outside groove is the faster one. You need to stay out there till you go by Morgan, he said.
Clear low if it helps you.
Clear low because we thought maybe Trickle might want to go up there and get on the back of Darrell Walter, but Michael Walter went down and closed that spot.
That 4 cars are pulled away.
Ricky Rudd running back in 5th spot, and then the 2x2 begins.
The crowd back there racing has caught up to him.
That's a good word, crowd. Because it is crowded.
Covered inside.
In this group, you see right in the middle there is Rusty Wallace, who has come up to run in this group.
Bill
Elliott down there with him with Todd Bodine.
Rookie driver Robert Prescott caught in the middle there. Ooh, he goes up all too close to Darrell Walker. Rusty Wallace looking that over.
Darrell said, rookie, stay down there.
Walker just said there's not a thing in the world he can do. Not anything in this situation. If he backs up, they're just going to go by him on both sides.
But Presley's having a good run, John Kernan.
There he backed off and up. Darrell Walker went up there, so he got himself a run. Now let's go to John.
Well, talking with his crew chief, Charlie Presley, this morning, the one concern he had about Robert was his lack of experience in the draft. In fact, he had talked about it and said, line up, stay in line, try and stay in line. And as we saw right there, he kind of not a passing grade that last time here in drafting University as he got caught up in the middle. But that is their big concern. They want him to stay in line, get a lot of drafting experience. They think they've got a good car that is very comfortable out in the draft, and they'd like to have a really good finish.
Robert Presley is running higher than the other rookies in the race at this moment.
There's another rookie, Ricky Craven, with Kodiak car right at the tail end of that pack. You see Robert, he's not going to get caught. Let someone get on the outside of him now and then. No, he's up against that curve.
To make sure nobody was going on the outside of him that time.
Morgan Shepherd still running the low side of the racetrack, trying to get to the front.
Todd Bodine right behind Elliott. Jeff Bodine right behind this younger Todd. Ooh, Jeff moved up there. 3-deep situation.
Riding on top the Budweiser car of Ken Schrader.
See Ricky Rudd there. He was in this lead draft. He has fallen back into this group, so evidently his chassis is still not as good as you'd like for it to be. And we see Darrell Walter also. Bill Weber.
Benny, I just talked to Billy Engel about that. He said Ricky's doing fine. He said they came back in, put on the tires, everything's going okay. He said Ricky needs a car behind him, wants a car behind him. He's faster when he's leading instead of following, but they're pretty content with where they're at right now. They think they can run down the leaders, and now he's going to try and hook up with Kenny Schrader and continue in that pack with Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, and Jimmy Spencer.
They're going to have a tough time running down those leaders. They're running 196 miles an hour right
Thank
now,
you.
pulling away.
Wow. And there is the interval that has developed between the first four and the second pack. It is still Dale Jarrett leading Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon at Talladega. Basically a four-car race at the moment. Jarrett, Martin, Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon.
And then, right now, Dale Jarrett is pulling these cars as fast as all day.
Yeah, they're running over 196 miles an hour, so they're running all day long. And I'm sure that the others back there are content. Now, if he slows down, then they might say, well, I can pull this train faster. But they're pulling away from that second group of cars, and that's what they want to do.
Jarrett's best finish here at Talladega, previously a third in the 1993 Winston Select 500. And here comes the second group led by Jimmy Spencer.
And you can see the gap that they've been talking about between the lead pack and that group. And here, folks, unbelievable. Sterling Marlin in the pits, John Kernan.
Well, they're working what it looks like the area of the valve train. Sterling, you guys running around on 7 cylinders, decided to pull it in. Do you have any idea what the problem is?
I'm not sure the broke lock on, broke the valve spring or something. By the time it's going to pass for the lead, it went on 7 cylinders, and we could run good if it was in traffic, but out there by itself, it just kept getting slower and slower. And thought we'd park before blew the motor all the way up. So we're going to try to see what it is, try to fix it.
Now, this was going to be a very big day for you, a very potential big day. But as Tony told me, hey, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. We still got 2 more shots. And these Kodak teams come back, and we're completing a lot of races this year. And this first race, we had trouble. So it's going to catch every now and then.
That's Sterling Marlin, who's behind the wall.
And we'll see how Sterling does at Daytona on July 4th weekend when we bring you the Pepsi 400 from that facility.
Now the distance has sort of stabilized between this group of 4 cars and the second group, which is being led by Jimmy Spencer.
There's the front pack. Here comes Jimmy Spencer, and he's leading a group of cars, as Ned said a moment ago.
About to get together there.
That's Todd Bodine and Bill Elliott on the low side of Michael Waltrip.
Jeff Burton having a little bit of problem right now. Bill Weber, what's going on?
Well, Benny, he radioed in. They thought it might be the ignition or a fuel pickup problem. They've just radioed in to stay out there and see if it gets any better, or they'll try and fix it on a pit stop. Jeff has just radioed to Donnie Richardson that the car is okay. So hopefully he'll be able to pick up the pace. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And a little bit of concern growing here in the 28 pits as Dale Jarrett is leading that draft and gets a challenge from Mark Martin. Jarrett just radioed to Larry McReynolds. The car is starting to get loose. They told him to, hey, 10 laps until halfway. He can hang on, but I'm not sure he's going to do it as Martin and now Earnhardt and Gordon try to draft by.
All form the low line and all pass by him, putting Jarrett from first to fourth.
He had been running lap speeds of about 48.8 seconds. Terry Labonte won the pole at 48.72 and 196.5 miles an hour. But the last 5 laps, Jarrett had slowed down to about 49 seconds. So the others figured, oh, hey, we can run this thing faster than that, so let us lead.
Mark Martin now leads this race. He has never won here at Talladega in 18 previous starts.
Now remember, Jarrett did not take on right side tires during that last pit stop. Might be telling here right now.
Looking on in the pit area.
He led more laps than anyone else here last year in this same car. Dale Earnhardt won the race, but he was up front most of the day.
Back to the second pack. Let's see how that's going. It's still Jimmy Spencer leading Terry Labonte, and then again the 2x2 formation with Presley and Schrader side by side.
I'll tell you what, all those spots are being contested. Dick Triple and Jeff Bodine go 3 abreast. Meanwhile, on top of Morgan Shepherd's car, as he follows Ricky Rudd down in turn 1. That's Michael Waltrip, the Pennzoil car.
Wow, look how close Ricky Rudd and Michael Waltrip came.
And what happened to Schrader?
He just pulled down low. Looks like he's got a
run going middle.
Oh, I think something happened to his car.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Well, Jerry Punch is on the way to Ken Schrader's pit to find out, but yeah, just all of a sudden he turned to the left and got down low. Everybody's passing by him.
That's it, Darrell Waltrip. He's trying to go by on the inside. Looks like they are going to go in the corner 3 abreast.
Jeff Bodine on the outside. Number 7. Here comes Dick Trickle in car number 15.
88 completed, 100 to go.
Meanwhile, in front of this group, Terry Labonte, the pole sitters, passed Spencer to get in front and try to lead them back to the front, or at least keep up with Mark Martin.
And Morgan Shepherd, what a run he had down on the inside. He moves up into the 6th position.
There is 6.4 seconds separating the first 4 cars from this pack.
Well, it's about 5 seconds. A little bit away. Now the front pack is pulling away. Mark Martin has gotten in front, even though their lap speeds have not picked up in history. Lap speeds have slowed a little bit.
And once again, Todd Bodine and Michael Waltrip. Looks like they almost made some contact as Bill Elliott hung on the middle. As Trickle tries to get by on the inside, Darrell Waltrip just passed Elliott.
Well, Schrader lost a few positions, but it seems like he's kind of stabilized right now. Jerry, what is the situation?
The crew were watching while you were watching upstairs. They saw Schrader pull down and the cars go by and said, oh my gosh, we might have an engine problem. But that's not the case. To put it in Kenny Schrader terms, when he talked to Ken Howell, he said, hey, I zigged and everybody else zagged. So I got left on the inside, but the engine's fine, guys. So he's back up running full speed.
All right. There's the Budweiser driver. Out for a Sunday afternoon drive at 195 miles an hour. Once again, Bill Elliott gets hung in the middle as Rusty Wallace is on the high side.
I thought Dick Trickle did that last lap.
They're still There are 37 cars in the lead lap.
Elliott get hooked up. Meanwhile, Loy Allen trying to make it 3 abreast on the inside of Bobby Hamilton. That's Hamilton in the red and blue 43. There it is, the STP Pontiac. Loy Allen in the white number 19. I'm told that the 19, the 9, and the 98, Jeremy Mayfield, Lake Speed, and Loy Allen have fallen several seconds behind this group, but they got together, hooked up three nose to tail, and ran this group down.
So Loy Allen, who started from the outside of the front row and led the first 18 laps of this race, is coming back. He now is in, let's see,
22nd position.
And the
Better low if you need it.
the gap between this group and the other has opened up to 8 seconds. Hush up, Mustang.
Clear high.
Told him he's got the whole low line to work with if he wants it.
And we see Dave Marcus, the STG Chevrolet, right behind Musgrave. Marcus is one of the cars a lap down,
but only 1 lap down in 38th position.
And Steve Grissom just went a lap down, so now there are 36 cars in the lead lap.
The lead is being held by Mark Martin, who is the only driver to post 7 top 10s in the first 8 races this season, looking for victory number 1 in 1995. We'll do it all again next Sunday afternoon, but it will be in Sonoma, California at Sears Point Raceway, a road course, the St. Mark 300 at 4 o'clock Eastern Time live next Sunday afternoon here on ESPN. We have completed half distance. Mark Martin, the leader at the halfway point. And, well, wait here just a second and I'll tell you what our concern is. Happens to be some moisture that is falling from the sky. None right here. But as they head toward the start finish line, there we can begin to see a little bit of rain.
There you see a few splatters.
Yeah.
As they go in the turn one.
Right at the start-finish line, it gets a little heavier. Man, it's nothing that's going to slow them down at the moment, and I really believe that it's a very isolated area.
I tell you what, when that stuff hits your windshield at 190, 200 miles an hour, it looks like someone poured a bucket of water. I mean, one little drop looks like somebody poured a bucket of water on your windshield. Man, it's terrifying.
The 4 cars continue to run at the front of the field, and the interval between 4th place Dale Jarrett and 5th place Terry Labonte, who leads the second group. There you see it has gone from 8.4 seconds on lap 92 to 9.8 seconds on lap 96.
Go down to turn 1. That time we didn't see very much rain at all on the camera.
And here you see, we just saw the 4 go out of sight, and here they come. So they're almost that full backstretch ahead, not quite the full backstretch.
You see Schrader is falling back to the very end of that line. So
Bobby Hamilton and Ted Musgrave come up on him.
I'm told that the crew's still not concerned about the Budweiser Chevy. That's going to be okay. Bobby Hamilton right in front of him.
Well, I understand Richard Petty is still doing well and watching this afternoon. Hello, Richard. Everybody's still thinking about the trade for you. Glad that things are going well.
And Dale Inman said to throw him out of the hospital. He said, leave. Just go.
I bet they didn't have to say that but one time.
I'm kidding, Richard. But he knows how Dale is. Those cars still trying to get in front of Loy Allen, Lake Speed, Jeremy Mayfield. They passed about 10 cars and they're still running right together. And Ted Musgrave today, they're having some success. I think I'll just hook on to them.
There are 36 cars still on the lead lap past half distance. John Kernan has more on this group of cars running tightly together, including Loy Allen.
Bob, the 19, the 9, and the 98 have all gotten together and chased down this group. They were several seconds behind them. The reason being they're sort of team cars. They've all got TriStar motors, so they've gotten together on the radio with their spotters and crews, decided that those three cars should hook up in a line and try and work their way toward the front.
And those TriStar motors have been strong, especially on the restrictor plate engine tracks over the years.
And Mark Smith up in Asheville or Hendersonville, North Carolina, does a terrific job with these restrictor plate engines.
They're staying right together down on the inside, coming up on Rusty Wallace.
Engines are good, especially restrictor plate.
16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and so on.
I saw some raindrops on her camera back there in turn 2.
Rusty Wallace running in 16th position.
Hamilton, he's running that patented Richard Petty line way up on the outside.
Now these guys are racing. Those guys front four up the front. Single line, pulling away. These fellas are doing that.
Yeah, the first four cars are running together and nothing's happening, and that's why we're showing you this racing. It continues to be Martin, Earnhardt, Gordon, and Jarrett, top four.
And we see Loy Allen was able to get behind him. He just pulls out and leaves poor old Lake Speed hanging.
See that tire mark on the outside of, here it is. It's Loy Allen's car, so he's been close to somebody.
Yeah, big donut.
Real close. Hello, tire.
The health source car.
We understand that the rain has stopped where it was falling the heaviest in turn number 1.
And this track is so big, it's like, you know, if you live in a farm, say it's raining over in the North 40,
yeah.
They can be raining at one place and
Not at the house.
They're on top of Morgan Shepherd's car.
There are 22 cars in this group that we're watching.
Well, I thought that Bodine and Trickle were going to get together later.
I see a few bruises on Todd Bodine's car down there, too.
Jeff Bodine has said to his little brother, let's just run this little crew, see if we can get it worked out. Jimmy Spencer up there, maybe we can get by these cars.
Bobby Labonte, now he's coming up there, but he's sort of showing about 9th or 10th place. He's been back as far as 20 and he has worked hard to get himself back up there.
9th place right now, the 18 car, Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
There's the moisture move, guys. Is it over?
May have moved from turn 1 over to the backstretch.
Okay, maybe move on out of here.
Yeah. These are very widely scattered and very light showers. They're not affecting the competition. No caution because of it, but a little bit of rain is in the vicinity of Talladega Superspeedway. It's Mark Martin leading his best finish here at Talladega. In previous races, he has finished third on 5 different occasions.
9,000 RPMs means that you have to have all those parts if the engine's going to stay together. Not to say that they're turning 9,000 a day. They aren't. About 7,000, but at the short tracks, they do turn 9.
Yeah, big difference in the RPMs with the restrictor plate motors going on the short tracks.
Still 4 cars in the lead draft. There they are. Martin, Earnhardt, Gordon, and Dale Jarrett.
And they've got about a 20-second lead over the second group, which is still being led by Terry Labonte.
Steve Grissom is a lap down in 39th position. By the way, both Brett Bodine and Ward Burton have gone a lap down.
And there we can see here at Talladega what Ned was talking about with the restrictor plates. 65, 6,600 RPMs. He'll go down the corner. He'll slow down just, well, supposed to slow down just a little bit.
He's in the draft of the 4 leaders who just went by and coming down the front tri-oval here, and Steve just went 2 laps down.
Well, we can see that evidently he has some type of problem with the car. 187, 188 miles an hour. We saw 199 earlier in the day.
And that accounts for the fact that he is way back in 39th. 2 laps down. Oh, look at this.
And Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt almost get it together as they come off turn 4, and Jarrett trying to go by Earnhardt. Does this mean Earnhardt has a problem?
They better not race too long back there. That other twosome will be gone.
Yeah, Martin and Gordon are ahead and will continue to pull ahead, and these two remain side by side.
Earnhardt staying up there high to get him a good run off the turn, but Jarrett clearly.
Now, let's see, can they run down that front twosome? And believe me, Jeff Gordon will not pass right now.
That he and Mark Martin can pull away from him. But I believe that they might be able to. I don't know. They're back pretty far, and Earnhardt's not helping Dale that much.
And Earnhardt has even lost 3 or 4 car lengths since they came off the second corner.
Cylinder or something.
Remember Sterling Marlin, who second in points going in, has had problems. He's 29 laps down, and now Dale Earnhardt drops back. It's too early to tell you whether or not he has a problem, but he's dropped back quite a bit in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, and I think they've lost the draft of that front group. The only thing that might save them, the front 2 are coming up on a big pack of cars, and they might be able to pick that draft up and help them go down the post again.
Now it looks like Earnhardt is closing back in, or he hasn't lost anything to Dale Jarrett. There's our leader, Mark Martin, in the 6th car. John Kerner, what's going on?
Well, I walked up to Andy Petrie and Richard Childress and asked them what was going on with the car, and they said, well, we don't really know, but Dale is mad about something. He wonders if when Jarrett got underneath him, it might have gotten the car just a little bit loose. But we should have pit stops here very, very shortly. What we're looking at is around lap 116 is what Andy Petrie and the crew are hoping to get together and pit with that entire lead pack. Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, a few minutes ago, John, down in the Dale Jarrett pit, Steve Meal, Mark Martin's crew chief, came down and talked to Larry McGriddle and said, hey, let's pit together. And they decided on lap 117. And we're going to come in the 6th car and the 28 car on lap 117. However, that was before the 28 and the 3 dropped back a good 15 car lengths. That may change it a little bit. In fact, Larry McGriddle just ran up pit road to the Mark Martin pit to talk again. So we're going to wait and see what's going to happen here in about 7 laps. Let's check in with Bill Webber.
Well, Jeff Gordon has told Ray Everham he's pedaling as fast as he can. They were not able to get by Earnhardt when Dale was running stronger. Obviously, now they've gotten around him. And I went up to Ray Everham, who's one of the nicest guys in front. And I said, when are you going to pit? And he says, you dummy, we're going to pit when those guys in front of us do. So right now, he's going to follow the 6th car down pit road. They're trying to work out that. As far as Robert Presley is concerned, he's going to follow the man in front of him, Terry Labonte. That could be in as few as 4 laps.
Meanwhile, the leaders are going through a huge amount of traffic, both Martin and Gordon.
And they just ran that last lap at about 200 miles an hour. So they were coming up on that big pack of traffic.
And we see Jeff Burton, the Rebestos car, as he goes a lap down. There he is. Now Greg Sachs, the Kendall Oil car. Kyle Petty has been lapped, the Coors Light car. So Mark Martin pulls on the inside, is going by Greg Sachs.
Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon are leading the Winston Select 500 at Talladega at the conclusion of 113 laps. You arrive back with us just in time for pit stops. The 4 cars running up front are in. Jarrett, Earnhardt, Martin, and Gordon. Gordon finished already at the top of your screen. Right-side tires only. Here's the work on Dale Jarrett's car.
Trouble on the right rear. Trouble on the right rear of Dale Jarrett's car. As all these cars are leaving, they finally... Jerry Buck, what's going on?
They had a problem with the lug rates, the air rates on the right rear, and now they finally get a second race. David Fox grabs one. The car now stalls, and Jarrett nearly gets tagged by Rusty Wallace leaving the pit. So 3 different problems. The air rates quit. They couldn't get the second one across the wall. And then as they left the pit road, the car stalled. And then Dale Jarrett had to dodge a couple of cars, including Rusty Wallace. What a tough break as Rusty Wallace got this right side. 13.5 seconds, a two-tire change for the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. He is down and away.
And Rudd is having problems and pushing his tire machine, trying to get it started down pit road.
Evidently stalled the engine trying to get it started, and it will not start.
Meanwhile, cars are coming in for pit stops, getting all jammed up.
Some raindrops falling in turn 4. Let's go to the pits and John Kerner.
Right side tires only for Terry Labonte, the pole sitter. His brother Bobby Labonte put it right in front of him. Likewise, we go with right side tires. The catch can man hitting the rear spoilers, knocking a little bit on right rear trouble. And the 10 car does get started as Terry Labonte and the rest of the crew move away.
You see that guy get the lug nut jammed on the right rear and bang the rocket off the pit wall, hit pit road. Evidently, the nut came out then.
That surely will be the next thing that somebody comes up with to prevent that problem. We've seen it so much, and man, can it have a profound effect on the race.
We're starting to see that each and every, and we see some rain.
Yep, turn 4.
That's the front stretch. That's right coming by us right now.
Here it is, Benny.
There we see he's trying to see. He gets tire off. Now he's going back on. Well, he wouldn't go. He couldn't get the socket to go the other way.
Yeah.
He finally just took his hand and beat it down.
Jerry has a report on the 28 car and the problems it had on pit road.
It's the same old story, just different chapter. Take a look. Raymond Fox trying to put the lug nuts back on. He had just put one lug nut on. This was the second lug nut he was trying to tighten up. It was stuck inside the socket. He shook it. He beat it. It wouldn't come out. He took a few extra seconds trying to get it out. I twisted it, knocked him out of the socket. They ran across. That cost him an extra 5.5 seconds here in the pits. As the 15 car, Dick Trickle now comes back in for an unscheduled stop. Bob?
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm talking about. Somebody has got to find a way to prevent that from happening because it happens so frequently. They're your top two, Gordon and Martin now.
Raymond Fox came to the right rear tire. So Eric Gordon for years has been the right rear tire changer. He hurt his back. I think it was at North Wilkesboro that he hurt his back, and he hasn't changed the right side tire since then. And Raymond Fox has been doing the job.
And look at the statistic on Jeff. He's led a lap in every race this year.
Now these guys came out of the pit together. Perfect. That's the way they wanted it. Earnhardt and Jarrett came in at the same time. They were running together. It hurt Earnhardt when Jarrett had his problems because he didn't have a drafting partner out there.
Yep.
Jarrett's now about 15 seconds behind the leaders.
Gordon and Martin put another lap on Dave Marcus.
There was Dale Earnhardt. He does have the 40 car of Greg Sachs to draft with, but the 40 is a lap down. It doesn't matter to Earnhardt as long as he can run as fast as he can.
Yeah, if he can run as fast as he can, well, that'll help him. Jarrett's running totally by himself out there right now.
Well, instead of going to our meteorologist, John Kernan, Bill Weber, what's the weather story in your area?
That's a tough act to follow. It is drizzling down here, but Ray Everham has been lobbying NASCAR because of the rain. He told his driver, Jeff Gordon, after they pitted, get back out front, stay out front. It's raining. That's where we want to be if this thing gets stopped. But Ray was talking to several officials trying to get this race. Maybe perhaps the caution came out. Perhaps in the interest of safety, he wanted everyone to know that it is raining. And as you can see from that roof cam shot, that it is coming down. Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Bill, some of the drivers down in mine to the pits are complaining vehemently, and now apparently the caution will come out. Dale Jarrett just ready and said it is pouring in turn 3, and NASCAR heard some of the drivers, and because of the safety concerns, will put out the yellow flag here due to the shower. Bob?
Now this will be important to see who comes back to the line. I don't think that this is going to be the end of the race because it would appear as if it's just a passing shower. But here comes Jeff Gordon leading Mark Martin off the 4th corner to the caution flag.
And Mark is so far not making an attempt to pass him. He's slowed down and just going to let it go that way, not thinking that this will be the end of the race.
The caution comes out at the end of lap 122.
Now, apparently, Randy LaJoy either made a fantastic pit stop or had not pitted at all. He is still shown in 4th position. This will be a big break for him. And he's up in 4th place. Dale Jarrett is 5th. Earnhardt is still in 3rd place. Bobby Labonte had a good pit stop. He's up in 6th place. But this is going to bunch them all up again, and we still have 23 cars on the lead lap.
The problems that Ricky Rudd had, that we saw them pushing his car down pit road, Rudd did lose a lap in the pits.
We'll show you how they're running at this point as the race has been slowed because of a shower. Gordon and Martin have never won here at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt is the all-time leading active winner at this speedway, having won 7 times, twice in this event, 94 and in 90, and he's won the summer race here, the Die Hard 500, on 5 different occasions.
We see Steve Grissom get back in 37th spot. I believe he blew up just as he went by the booth just a moment ago. He was by himself, went by, making all that noise, and whack, off and went.
There is Steve Grissom as we ride with him.
Is it running?
Now, we had said we saw him get lapped the 2nd time, but he had not made a pit stop here, so he got one of those laps back.
Let's see if he coasted into the pits. There the field is. Is Steve going to catch up with the field, or is he going into the pits? Let's see. I guess it is running because he put it in 2nd gear.
And Randy LaJoie, Ned, is on pit road. He had not pitted, as you pointed out. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Randy LaJoie pulls in. They stretched the fuel mileage and wound up, well, not too bad a break for them. It will be a 4-tire change for Randy LaJoie. Work being completed on the right side. They'll come around to the left. Let's get down pit road to Bill Weber.
And I'm standing here with Rick Hendrick, the car owner for the DuPont Chevrolet, and driver Jeff Gordon, smiling in this little shower that we're having. You're in front and happy about.
Well, you know, you're not happy to see the rain, but if it's going to rain and you're out front, you feel pretty good about that. So car's running well. I just don't know what's going to happen here in this weather.
Another good weekend for you, Rick. You had the pole-sitting car here as well, Terry, with a good run in qualifying.
Well, Terry's had a good day. Kenny ran well. We've got a little problem with the engine now, but all 3 of the teams are doing well. But we'd like to say hello to my dad back home, who's not doing so well. And we'll be back Monday, and hope you're going to be better, Pop. And maybe we can win this thing for you today.
All right, so a little extra incentive for Rick Hendrick and company. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Now, up in the Hendrick pits, they're talking about the fact that it's raining. It's significantly, I don't think they've even felt a drop of rain down here where Dale Jarrett's pits are, Larry McReynolds.
Well, up to the caution fail, it was raining real hard in our pits. You know, unfortunately, everything's went great today for the Texaco Haviland Mac 2 Ford, but we had a lug nut hang on the right rear on that last green stop, and when them guys is out there running, you know, 190, 193 miles an hour, and you're sitting in here with a lug nut hung fighting to get it off, you know, you're losing precious time. But caution let us catch back up, and got a lot of racing to go. We'll just see what happens.
Looks like you may have one of the 2 or 3, maybe 4 quickest cars here.
Well, you know, we've been quick since we backed off the trailer on Friday, and you know, I can't deny those other 3 cars up there, the 6, the 24, and the 3. They look strong. I don't know what happened a while ago when Dale and Dale got behind. I think something happened to the 3 car. I went down and talked to Andy. He says, heck, I don't know what happened, but caution's bunched us all back up, and we'll hopefully this rain will pass over. We'll get back after it.
Larry McReynolds ready to race some more. Thinks the 28 car has a great chance at victory lane today, Bob.
It has been a great race so far, and one of several drivers still very much in the hunt. But at the moment, we are slowed because of rain in some parts of the track. Not a hard rain, but enough to bring out the caution. We'll be right back.
Let's see, are they going to make pit stops?
Here they all come. Here comes Jeff Gordon, stays out, but here comes Martin and Earnhardt. How many more cars are going to pit? Are they going to change? Now, didn't they just change right sides a moment ago? Yep. John Kernan, what's going on?
What we're being told is Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt will pit for fuel and left side tires. Mark Martin will pull in. They will go to work on the left side. Loy Allen will also pull in. He's in the middle of them. Loy Allen's only going to take a splash of fuel. Dale Earnhardt's crew getting the left side tires on. Mark Martin puts the motor. Got Michael Walker clocked in. It looks like Earnhardt is going to be wiped out. No, he does not. And Loy Allen beats Earnhardt out.
Earnhardt's car looked like it almost stalled there as he came back out on pit road.
Very interesting strategy going on here as we're just a few minutes away from a restart. There has only been one incident so far in this event. That was when Derek Cope and John Andretti got together off 4.
He came off turn 4, and Derek Cope said that he didn't know John Andretti was out there. He actually said Michael Andretti. John Andretti was out there. They made contact. And watch as Derek Cope goes up. And
there have been other incidents in the pits. Here's Jerry Punch with that report.
What we're seeing happen more and more, the fact that these sockets here are being used to change tires on the back of the car, and the lug nuts actually are very sloppy, for the want of a better word, inside the socket. Very, very loose. You see, I can almost turn the socket a half a turn. When I put the lug nut in, if you put it in a hurry to one side, it'll actually twist or round off the lug nut and jam it in. Here's exactly what happened as it began to twist off the back side of the lug nut on Dale Jarrett's right rear tire. We've seen it happen at least once a week now for the past 4 or 5 races. Someone's going to devise something, maybe making the lug nuts even bigger or the socket smaller, so there isn't as much movement or play when you jam that socket on for a quick pit stop. Bob?
Of course, they want that socket loose so they can jam it as fast as they get up on there. That helps to get it up on the lug nut quicker, but it can be problems.
This is Jeff Gordon's 71st NASCAR Winston Cup race, and look at the record that Gordon, Earnhardt, Allison, Waltrip, and Wallace have accumulated in their first 70 NASCAR Winston Cup races. Dale, 6 wins. Of course, Jeff has 5, but 33 top 5s for Dale.
That's
8 pole position, yeah, for Davey Allison.
33 top 5s out of the top 7.
His first 70 races.
Man,
that's amazing. All right, the green flag is out. The sun shining now in some portions of the racetrack, and we're back to a racing condition with Jeff Gordon still up front, but Dale Jarrett is now 2nd. 3rd is Bobby Labonte. 4th, Terry Labonte, and Robert Presley is the green car at the top of the track in 5th.
That was Kenny Schrader, who made several pit stops, and he's not back up to speed on the restart.
Rick Hendrick mentioned the fact, I believe, that maybe he lost the settlement. Let's get the truth out from Jerry Punch.
Well, there's still speculation, man. In fact, a moment ago, Kenny said, I'm not sure. Said it could be a plug wire, but it's sputtering. Whatever it is, we have 7 instead of 8 hitting right now.
And Jeff Gordon goes backwards. He is back to, what, 5th position as Dale Jarrett now has a lead with the Labonte brothers 2nd and 3rd, then Presley, and then Gordon.
Let's see what happened here. Jarrett gets a run on Jeff Gordon, just drives by down on the inside, and here comes Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte, Robert Presley drives right on up there and just goes right on by.
That's just an example of what happens when you get hung out to dry and nobody will go with you. You finally get back in line. They have lost 4 or 5 positions. Now he's back to 4th and headed for 3rd.
He's going right up on the outside of Terry Labonte. Will someone go up there with him? Robert Presley, he goes with, and they'll leave Terry Labonte out to hang him up to dry.
He's in the USA.
And here it comes on the inside of Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon.
Man, that boy's
takes over 2nd. That car's fast.
Man, he's going someplace.
And now Bobby Labonte gets passed by several cars.
And Hut Strickland is on the move. Look at him, pull alongside Spencer.
Good, having a great run here today.
He comes down trying to get some wind on Terry Labonte. He does that. Here comes Darrell Walter, Mark Martin, and Dale Earnhardt trying to get back to the front. Ever see Martin going by Ricky Rudd?
Well, they gave up a lot of good track position to make that pit stop. Inside tires.
Right in with Mark Martin. Jerry, what's the story with Ken Schrader?
Rob, it's typical Kenny Schrader luck. Apparently, Ken Hallis just told me that's not a plug wire. From looking at the tack and looking inside the engine, and from what Schrader's telling them, it's something deep inside the motor. They're not sure how long they're going to be able to make it.
Well, more bad luck for Kenny Schrader.
Waving somebody. I guess he's waving to the flagman. That's who he was waving. He went by the flag stand and waved at all 4 as he went by.
11th in points coming into this race was Ken Schrader. 281 out of the lead. Here's Earnhardt still trying to move up through.
back to the front. Meanwhile, Mark Martin and Earnhardt knows that Mark Martin has a very fast race car. That's why he chose to go with it rather than the Chevrolet driver.
Yeah, the Ford and Chevrolet situation don't come into it right now. You get yourself a good fast race car and hook up with them and try to come to the front.
That's Lloyd Allen pulling out of line and going to the inside. Look at this mess.
Wow.
That's a crowd, right, Ned?
Yep, big crowd.
So airplanes go under a blimp.
Yeah. Trailing a banner.
Here comes Darrell Waltrip on the inside trying to take over 4th spot. Here comes Mark Martin with him and Dale Earnhardt.
Look at the banking. 5 stories high. You can't even see it when you're right overhead. Hut Strickland is the driver that's now hung out to dry on the outside, and he gets very close to Michael Waltrip.
Yes, he's been awfully close.
I guess that's Jimmy Spencer.
Yep.
A lot of money going down the drain there. That's like missing the putt on 18. Darrell Waltrip, he's trying to take over the third place. What's up with Darrell?
He's racing here today.
Man, I'm telling you, look at him.
For Darrell Waltrip, he pulls alongside Jeff Gordon, battling for 2nd spot. Wow, there's drafting help down there too. Look at this, he may take the lead here.
What in the world is up with Darrell?
He's going for it.
Man, I'm telling you.
He's going to get the lead because Mark Martin is hooked up with him.
Pushes him right on through. Earnhardt's going to come down and follow that crowd.
Now we've got Jeff Gordon hung out on the outside and Dale Jarrett. But that's two fast cars, Jarrett and Gordon. But meanwhile, Mark Martin's back to 2nd place and Earnhardt is in 3rd.
So their strategy has worked out okay. They got back to the front.
Let's see if Darrell Waltrip can lead this lap. He's close to the line, and yes, he will. He becomes our 9th different lap leader so far today.
Dale Jarrett stayed out there, and Jeff Gordon's going by him. Dale had an opportunity to get back in line. He decided to stay out there in that high groove, and it might have cost him. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Now Jeff goes down to pick up his buddy Terry, the body.
Well, there's Stevie Waltrip, and is she happy? And Jerry, this has got to be a very happy pit crew.
Bob, they are very happy out here. You know, tell you how impressive this run was. DW was one of those cars that came down pit road and topped off with fuel and put on left side tires. When he came back on the racetrack, he was 23rd spot. He was the 23rd car in line, and about 4 laps later, he is leading here at Talladega.
That is impressive.
Now then, Dale Earnhardt is taking over that 2nd spot past Mark Martin, as you saw up in the tri-oval on the outside.
Waltrip has not been impressive on super speedways this year. He finished 32nd at Daytona, 38th at Rockingham, 34th at Atlanta, 21st at Darlington. Darrell Waltrip is leading at 134 laps. He documented how he made a good advance in the points during the short track season and pick up some more here today.
His crew chief, Pete Peterson, was named the UAW GM Mechanic of the Race last week in Martinsville. He might win it again this weekend. I wonder if he wins 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, I think so.
Clear all the way.
Musgrave spotter time clear all the way.
Outside lane fast.
Outside lane fast, this is.
You can go up to 75 if you want to.
Well, he came because the 30 is between him and the 75.
And Jeff Gordon is moving once again, trying to take 2nd. He's got Mark Martin with him on the top side of the racetrack.
They've got a hung out there.
They sure do.
Jeff comes down, tries to can't do it now. Dale Jarrett comes on the outside. And here comes Gordon for the lead.
He has sights set on retaking the lead, and he will do so into turn 1 as again Mark Martin comes along and helps him. A great drafting partnership exhibited today by Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. They are first and second, Waltrip third, and now the battle for fourth between Earnhardt and Jarrett. And Earnhardt, along with Terry Labonte, will pass by Dale Jarrett.
There's a shot back from our second place car, back in third place, Darrell Waltrip, the Western Auto Chevrolet. There we see Schroeder on the inside on 7 cylinders, the Budweiser Chevy.
So with 136 laps now completed, it's Jeff Gordon leading the Winston Select 500. Just some incredible racing going on here at Talladega, and you watch from the Family Channel blimp. Mark Martin has taken the lead, and Jeff Gordon has lost several positions.
He's on the outside, which has been the fastest groove the last couple of days. Bill Weber, what's going on with 24?
Well, they just radioed in that they're having the engine is skipping. They think it might be the ignition box. That was the preliminary indication from Jeff. Ray Abraham very upset. We'll try and get an update and get it back up to you guys.
Wow, Jeff Gordon has been up front all afternoon, but he has fallen back now. Here's what happened.
You see him going down the back straightaway, going into turn 3. Mark Martin goes over and just blows right by Jeff Gordon. And here's Darrell Waltrip on the inside of Dale Earnhardt, takes over second place. And we see Gordon just go up high. He realizes that he's got a missing situation. He doesn't want to get in the way.
Jeff Gordon trying to continue his string. In the last 3 races, he's finished first, second, and third, trying to move back up to the #1 spot. Well, these overhead shots once again courtesy of the Family Channel blimp. Since starting its national tour in '92, the blimp has delighted thousands of us in more than 90 cities, 35 states across the country. This year's tour dedicated to celebrating the power of family, and Ken Schrader has taken his Budweiser car back of the wall.
Okay, and into the garage area. Tough break for us, Ken. Only winner here at Talladega.
Well, here we are again with Mark Martin, Darrell Waltrip, Morgan Shepherd is now third, and Kenny Schrader unbuckles and climbs out of the car.
You see why I don't drive anymore.
I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking about it.
There's Head Strickland. He was running up in 5th place just a half a lap ago, but now he's dropped back, and here's Dale Earnhardt with the run on Dale Jarrett and Bill Elliott coming right in there.
We haven't talked a whole lot about Bill Elliott today, but I tell you, this guy has kept right up there, and more on the 24 car, Bill.
Jeff has changed ignition boxes, and Rick Hendrick just told me the car is back up to speed, so we'll have to fight his way to the front. He's going under the inside, the 28 with Michael Waltrip right behind him, heading for the front.
He's back up to 5th spot.
I think that inside groove, since the rain, is the place to be. The high groove was the place to be earlier, but it looks like now the inside groove is the place.
Morgan Shepherd, the single car in 3rd place.
Then it's a couple of cars there. Darrell Waltrip running in 2nd, Morgan running in 3rd. The bodies on these cars, on these racetracks, are so important. Chip Lane put the bodies on both of those cars at the 17 and the 21. He is quickly making a name for himself in this business on these high-speed racetracks.
Let's take a look at our Budweiser race recap. Mark Martin has led 54 of the first 141 laps. We've had 20 lead changes, 2 caution periods, one for a crash with the other for rain. The race is almost 175 miles an hour. Those who have picked up 5 bonus points for leading a race as the positions shuffle once again. Martin, Jarrett, Loy Allen led the first 18. Schrader also led. Jeff Gordon has been at the front. And there are 4 other drivers that have also led a lap here today.
Crowded up front.
I'm telling you, only 3 cars are out of the race. Copen and Drenny because of the crash. Ken Schrader just dropped out with engine problems.
Man, I'm telling you, I started saying Morgan Shepherd made a mistake, but it doesn't look like he did. He's up in 2nd place, and is that Spencer?
Yes, it is.
Trying to get by Earnhardt. They might have touched just a tick, and Jarrett.
Jeff Bodine is right up in the thick of things.
Yeah, he took the traditional spot to get in this field.
Look at this speed, the fence flying by. No thanks. Yeah. And you were about to say no thanks either when you realized that you used to do it, right?
Oh, that's right. I said, whoops.
Spencer goes up and gets close to Earnhardt.
Spencer needs some help. Jeff Bodine might drop down and help him now. He's afraid to. Meanwhile, we got Darrell Walter. He's going to drop down and try to come up there and catch Spencer and help him out a little bit. And Michael Walter coming with him.
Yep. Inside.
And several others. Well, content to follow Spencer, though. He's going to pass him. He'll try to. And he does it. Jeff Bodine, Spencer moves up the racetrack. He will go follow the line out. The Walker brothers, nose to tail. Now Spencer dives to the inside and goes by Jeff Bodine. This is the lead of the race. Mark Martin and Earnhardt has passed Morgan Shepherd to take over second place. Shepherd is third and Jeff Gordon.
And that portion will be gone in a minute with the way these guys are racing back here.
Behind him, and they're running 3 wide.
There's that 33-degree banking that we talked about at the top of the show. Yep. Elliott was up in 5th place just a moment ago.
Atlanta, where an IMSA race is going on this afternoon. There has been a very serious crash involving Jeremy Dale and Fabrizio Barbazza. Jeremy Dale is the most seriously injured. He's been airlifted to a hospital in Atlanta and reportedly will be further taken to Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis for treatment of serious injuries. We urge you to call at 7 o'clock tonight Eastern Time for Sports Center. They will have more on the condition of Jeremy Dale, who was injured in an accident at Road Atlanta today. And our congratulations to Damon Hill, who earlier today won the Formula One race at Imola.
This force now beginning to pull away from those cars that were racing side by side back there.
Now we see the race is still going on. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett is hooked up with Jeff Bodine trying to find Michael Walter. And we see Rusty Wallace on the inside of a 3 abreast race. That was Lake Speed in the 9 car, and Lake is still, well, he finally gets behind Rusty Wallace. That's Lake in the 7 car.
It's amazing that after 147 laps, this group of cars is still running together, changing position every few feet.
Terry Labonte, our pole sitter, is right directly in the middle of that picture. The Kellogg's Cornflake Chevrolet. He's currently in the 11th spot. No.
Labonte, yeah.
There he is.
Rusty to the low side to hook up with Todd Bodine.
Hey, behind the 5.
Well, he wishes he could.
Yeah, right. Tell Todd to do that. And Spencer has fallen all the way back to this group.
Yep.
I don't watch it. Jimmy Spencer looks like he is off the pace in the Smoking Joe car.
Well, the 21 car of Morgan Shepherd always runs well on super speedways, and here he is currently in 3rd position, and Jerry Punch has a report.
Well, Bob, that's the good news for Morgan Shepherd. He is currently 3rd. Just crew chief Eddie Wood now, along with Mark Martin's crew chief Steve Meal, plot their next pit stop. But the bad news for the 21 car is they have lost first gear on their previous pit stop, which means they need to pit under caution. They can stay out about 49 or 50 laps, but to paraphrase Eddie Wood, he said, if we pit under green, we are in deep doo-doo. According to Eddie Wood, it's somewhat of a paraphrasing of what he said. Let's go up pit road to Bill Weber.
Well, Ken Schrader is smiling on the outside, but it's tearing him apart inside, Kenny. You 5th and a 4th here last year, 11th in points this season. Disappointment today. What happened?
Yeah, well, we wouldn't expect this day to be any different the rest of the year. Otherwise, the car we've been struggling this year. It's running pretty good enough, and I think that was obvious today, you know. But that last restart, we was like 4th or so, and it was just starting to get hard to keep up, you know, and I knew something was wrong, and it started fading back. And we got in the middle of a big group, and it run fine. You had so much air around you, but it just kept getting worse.
Can you handicap some of those front runners for us? You got a teammate up there. The guy driving the 3 car looks pretty strong.
Well, when I was out there, we worked our way up there, and Jeff was right behind me, and I thought he was looking good, and I guarantee you by the end of the day, when it comes time to pay, Terry will get up there somewhere.
Ken Schrader done for the day. Back next week on the road course at Sonoma.
There are the top 4 once again. We mentioned the possibility of Jimmy Spencer having problems. He began to drop back. We checked with his crew, and they said, nope, he just got shuffled to the back because he got out of the draft. So it's still Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Jeff Gordon, the top 4. And trailing this lead draft back in 5th position is Darrell Walter. 151 of 188 laps have been completed here at the Winston Select 500. Back in a moment. And Dale Jarrett has a problem. Here's Jerry.
The crew waiting for Dale Jarrett to come in. Apparently they were not expecting him to pit regularly until at least about 10 or 12 laps from now. And now they're up on the wall. We are listening on their radio. We'll check back in just a moment as they wait for Dale Jarrett. He comes down pit road at 65 miles per hour on a tough break. He would have to pit anyway in about 10 or 11 laps early. And now the crew going to work. And we are told they have a flat right side tire. Apparently they have cut a tire. Now what they thought was a flat right side tire, now they're saying no. Yes, we're listening on the radio, 2 right side tires in, less than 14 seconds. Now, but that will cost him a lot of time on the racetrack.
As the leaders come up on him as he goes into turn 1, as you mentioned, they'll have to pit perhaps in about 10 laps or so, but he lost a lot of time before he came into the pits, and he'll lose a lot of time here too, getting back up to speed.
So one of the contenders has lost a lap. Meanwhile, Mark Martin continues to lead the foursome down the backstretch. Dick Trickle going another lap down. He is 8 laps down now in 15th position.
Exactly what to do here. Now there are just 22 cars in the lead lap.
Okay, now you guys have been out there. Just how turbulent is it? How difficult is it to hang on to the car when all that wind is blowing around?
Following some cars, it's very turbulent, very, very shaky. But some cars, the air comes across them so smooth, you can't feel it in that car back there. Just depends on the car.
You might wonder, you know, does the Ford, is the air more radical off of it, or a Chevrolet? Hey, it's hard to tell, really.
It depends on the car.
Yeah, it depends on how the body is put on the car, even though they all have to meet the templates, but still just a little bit of a corner different here or there can make a world of difference in how that air flows across the car and how the car will feel.
And what we're talking about is when you ride behind a tractor trailer on an interstate and you pull up right behind it, you can feel that turbulence and how your car moves around. Well, that's at 65 miles an hour. You can imagine at 190 miles an hour just how much your car moves around.
Jerry Punch has more on Dale Jarrett.
Let's explain what happened here a minute ago in the Hamilton pits. Dale said the car got suddenly just jerked loose and he saved it. He said about 100 feet later the car got loose again and he saved it. And maybe a half a mile later the car got loose a third time and he said, I think I got a tire going down. So he came down and pitted. Now Larry checked both right side tires, Larry McReynolds, and both the tires were okay. He told Dale, said, take it easy. Went back and said, okay, now those right side tires are fine. Go ahead and come back up to speed, but be careful. Let's see what the car is going to do. Now Dale Jarrett is back to full speed, but they are watching and waiting to hear from their driver as to possibly something broken in the rear of the car.
Unfortunately, it has, as Ned said, put him a lap down. He's in 23rd spot. He's running in front of Michael Waltrip, who is 5th.
And that's exactly where he was running when he came off of turn 2 and just shot straight up towards the wall, as if, you know, a tire was going down or something happened to the car. And he ran a couple laps after that and kept dropping back.
You see Dick Trickle we saw him get lapped just a moment ago, but he's closed in on the back of that lead foursome. And Ned, you were right. You told us earlier in the show he was one of the fastest cars here in practice yesterday.
Looks like we may have some rain that is not too far from the racetrack. Where is that, over in turn 1?
You can see it across there. It looks like there is some rain, whether it's moving this way. Yeah, the wind is sort of blowing over this way, so it looks like it is not too far away.
We've only got 28 laps to go here, and there are the top 4.
Now, how far away are we from pit stops? Maybe not. All of them will have to make another pit stop if this race goes to the end. But I'm sure those crew chiefs are looking over the hill there, and they see that rain coming.
And they're all running to the NASCAR truck, looking at radar, just how close that rain is to the racetrack.
Bill Weber, what is the strategy now as people begin thinking about what should be their final pit stop?
I can tell you about Jeff Gordon. They're going to try and come in about lap 170, but Jeff needs a friend. They didn't pit when the caution came out last time. They stayed out. Everybody came in for gas, so Jeff's tank is running a little lower than the rest of the guy. Ray Everham is advertising for a dancing partner. They don't want to have to come in by themselves, but they're looking around lap 170. Let's go to John.
Some of the other cars that pit and top off. Michael Waltrip, Bill Elliott, they expect them to pit together around lap 175. Now for Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin, who had come in and topped off, taking on left side tires, they're expected to come in with about 10 laps to go for just a gas and go. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
What they're thinking about here in the Citgo pit is just that, John Kernan. They pitted on lap 123. They can go around 50 laps. Expect them to come in on 174. They hope to be able to come down pit road even without pressure and have the crew service a car, possibly right side tires only. They would come down and hopefully pit at the same time as the 6th car. Both those Fords pitting together on lap 174, some 14 laps from the checkered flag. Bob?
Okay, so that's the strategy that everybody is thinking about. We will take a break here and make sure that we have all the pit stop action for you. It's still Mark Martin up front, leading Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, with the emphasis now shifting a bit to the pit area. 23 laps remaining here at Talladega in the Winston Select 500. Here is the field summary where everybody is running at the moment with pit stops not too far away. The final round of pit stops hopefully in this event. There you can see that 22 cars are on the lead lap.
Dale Jarrett after that pit stop is now 1 lap down, obviously.
Robert Prescott just made a pit stop. And Kyle Petty coming out of the pits right now. What should be his last pit stop.
There's our leader, Mark Martin, looking back at second place car, Dale Earnhardt. There's the 4 cars running together. Dick Trickle in the NASCAR line. The Ford Quality Care car is a lap down. At least 1 lap down.
He's 8 laps down.
Okay. Laps down. And there's a car slow.
Greg Sachs.
I guess that's going down the back road into turn 3. Looks like he should be able to coast into the pits. Could he be out of fuel? And Dale Jarrett is very slow down in 1 and 2 in that big group of cars. There we see Jarrett. He was leading that pack just a moment ago, and he's fallen all the way back to near the end of the line.
What the problem is now? I think he gets among cars, and the car must get loose with him or something. I don't know. Everyone's trouble.
There we can see as he's falling back. Now he doesn't have to pit again. And there they've got some cars coming in the pits.
Jimmy Spencer and Terry Labonte have dropped down onto the apron and are headed for pit road. Among the first to come in here for the final round. 167 laps completed. There are a couple of dancing partners that will try to get back to the front. John Kernan is there.
No tire change for the pole sitter as Terry Labonte sits in waiting, calculating. Okay, and Labonte is away.
And Jimmy Spencer also has some fuel, and Bill Weber has more.
Well, Ray Abraham is just off to my left talking to Tony Glover. They're looking for a dancing partner to come down pit road. They can't last as long as the leaders. They've talked to the 15 car. Now they're talking to the 4 car. They're looking at a gas and go. We'll see what happens.
Jerry has a report on the 28.
Remember, the unscheduled pit stop and the speculation that something may have broken in the back of the car. Now they're suspecting that possibly Dale Jarrett has broken a shock absorber in the right rear of the car. Dale says the car is just bouncing and vibrating wildly, and he's had to back out and, of course, lost a lot of time.
Jarrett led 35 laps of this race, but has fallen off the pace because of that problem. There is Mark Martin, and the pace is still about where it has been all race long, over 193 miles an hour. The average speed of the race with a couple of cautions is 177.8. Mark Martin has had 80 laps so far.
This on top of the Sitco car, so we can see that there's still no rain anywhere around this racetrack.
Morgan Shepherd has yet to post a top 5 finish this season. His last top 5 was at Charlotte last fall, 11 races ago, in 3rd spot.
I saw about 3 busloads of Sitco people coming in the racetrack this morning, so I'm sure they're up jumping and dancing and having a good time. Martin, my hat's off to Mark, Steve Neal, Jack Roush, and whole crew, because they Jim Gordon head for the pits by himself.
Oh, probably didn't have any choice.
No, he didn't. Sterling Marlin is sitting on pit road waiting for Jeff Gordon to finish his pits.
Yep, Jeff is in. Sterling, there he is. Let's go to Bill Weber in the pits.
This is gas only. Crew Chief Ray Abraham will count. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Jeff's away. Right side tires for Sterling Marlin. He was going to try and help him out, but Jeff's away too fast. Now Sterling will try and catch him. 65 miles an hour down pit road. The battle is underway.
All this with 18 laps to go in this event. Sterling Marlin will now be able to accelerate after clearing that white line, and will try to catch up with Jeff, who is quite a distance ahead of him.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for him to catch up with him unless Jeff backs off.
They might be telling Jeff Gordon right now, wait for the 4 car, because if they go out there by themselves, he'd be better off waiting for the 4 car.
Yep. They stayed in the lead lap because the leader's just now coming across the start-finish line.
There is Sterling trying to catch up to Jeff Gordon.
Doesn't look like that Jeff is going to wait for him. Well, we see Jeff Gordon way up there in the left side of our screen.
The 43 car of Bobby Hamilton is in the pits. He was in 15th position when he came in. The STP Pontiac slides to a stop. Jerry, can you see it?
Yes, we can. Robbie Loomis and company mimicking what they saw the Gordon crew do. 3 seconds and topped it off in fuel, and he is down and away. As he heads by us, a lot of concern in the 21 pit. They do not want to see these green flag pit stops, knowing they will not be able to get back to speed with 2nd gear only.
There we see Terry Labonte, our pole sitter, about to go a lap down to our leader, Mark Martin.
Now, he, of course, has already made a pit stop. Terry Labonte has. Just a gas and go situation, but till you slow down and get your speed back up here at Talladega, not having anyone to draft with, he's going a lap down or close to going a lap down.
The 26 car of Hut Strickland comes in. He was running in 15th. He took over that spot when the other car came in. And now with Jeff Gordon having made his pit stop and dropping from the top 5, Michael Waltrip moves up to 4th, and Bill Elliott is in 5th.
Believe it or not, Sterling Marlin is catching Jeff Gordon. You think he's waiting for him?
I think he is. I had to clock on Jeff Gordon the last time around, 51.76. So yeah, I think he's waiting on the 4 car to catch him.
He realizes that they can hook up together and run so much faster. It's just senseless to run around it, and he's caught him.
Yeah, he's closing in.
They can gain that distance back in a hurry by running together. Now maybe Jeff has a problem. I don't know. So let's see which one's going to going to be the rabbit who runs in front. Okay. Now, we've been listening to that 4 car come by the booth here. We're listening as he comes by here. It sounds like he's running on all 8 now. If you could hear that, it sounded like he was running okay. And so we'll put our watch on next time around, see how they go.
And here comes Martin, Earnhardt, and Morgan Shepherd down pit road for the final time with 15 laps to go. Martin flanks off. Then Earnhardt. Here's John Kernan.
Martin is in, just a splash of fuel. Earnhardt shot with Myers, 1, 2. Martin is away. Let's get a Jerry punches Earnhardt lead.
Now Mike Hart puts the gas can in. He said, push. No first gear. And the car goes undone as Elliott is there. Bill Weber.
Elliott, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 seconds of fuel. They got some dancing partners, the 30 and the 9, but Lake Speed missed his pit. They're on their way back out trying to gain position.
Moving back up to speed. Bill Elliott was 5th when he came in. We'll be back for the shootout in the last 14 laps in a moment. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. We just had some pit stops. Now watch carefully at what they do to Dale Earnhardt. He slides to a stop.
Watch this. They're spreading right there. They're spreading oil dry under the right rear tire to try to help it get traction as he leaves the pits.
How about that? I don't think I've ever seen that before. How about that? Here's John Kernan with Childress.
Well, Richard, Dale hasn't really been taken off from the pits, so you guys tried to get him a little help there to spin the tires, didn't you?
Yeah, we put a little speedy dry into the rear tire. It seemed to help us get off the pit road a lot better. You know, we just got the wrong gear in the car for getting off pit road here, and so we had to give him a little anti-traction there.
Yeah, one of the crewmen earlier in the day, when I asked him why Dale was having problems leading pit road, he says he was trying to be very easy on the transmission.
You're watching 3rd and 4th position here. The leader of the race is Rusty Wallace. 2nd place is Randy LaJoy. However, they will need pit stops before too long.
Can Rusty go the rest of the way?
Oh.
Only 11 more laps. Jerry Bob's going to go the rest of the way.
Guys, you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. Rusty Wallace pitted on lap 126. Now, Nick O'Leila, who does a lot of the computer work and calculation, just showed me on their in-pit computer here that they are getting 7.45 miles per gallon. You multiply that by 22 gallons and figure he could go 61 and a half laps. He would have to go 62 laps to make it to the checkered. They are going to roll the dice and try to make it.
How about that? Wow, this is going to be fun.
And Randy LaJoy is in 2nd place if Rusty can. Oh, Randy LaJoy just made a pit stop. I take that back. He was in 2nd place. He just stopped.
So it's Rusty Wallace leading. Then comes Earnhardt, Martin, Gordon, and Morgan Shepherd. Well, you remember that Jerry Punch talked about a rabbit's foot that Rusty Wallace is carrying in the car today, hoping to turn his superspeedway luck around. It's from a 12-year-old girl in Hibbing, Minnesota.
How about that? Maybe Rusty would fall behind this group and follow those 3 cars. They might get better mileage. Evidently, that's not the case.
Well, yesterday's ARCA race.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, let's hope they do. Yesterday's ARCA race came down to fuel mileage as Harris Devane ran out on turn 4 on the last lap. Yep. To take the checkered flag. Now that's the leader. Let's see where 2nd place is. Quite a bit of racetrack out there between the two. There they are, both Earnhardt and Martin.
And there's only 8 laps to go.
Remember Harry Gant here a few years ago?
Remember. But I think he ran about 57, 58. You know, to run 61, 62 laps is just unheard of.
If points were awarded right now, Earnhardt would have the lead. Jeff Gordon would be in 2nd, Martin 3rd, and Rusty Wallace would move up a position into 4th place. And Sterling Marlin, who was 2nd coming into this event, would drop to 5th. This would be a real turnaround for Rusty Wallace, who has struggled in the past on the superspeedways, especially this one.
7 laps.
We saw in the Open his problems that he has encountered here in the past, but on the other hand, the success that he had in the short track season, trying to carry it over to the biggest and fastest of them all. 15.7 seconds separates Wallace and second place Dale Earnhardt.
If he doesn't run out of fuel, they can't catch him.
No, they can't. There's no way they can get
Something else happens.
As a matter of fact, that's one reason Mark Martin isn't passing Dale Earnhardt, because if they start racing, Jeff Gordon and Morgan Shepherd might catch them. I think Mark is just waiting the last couple laps and then try to make his move so that he's at least assured a third place finish or a second place finish. 6 to go. 6 more. Rusty went on by. There comes the third and fourth place cars. Once again, Sterling Marlin, the 4-car, laps down. The 15-car laps down. The race is for fourth place between 24 and 21.
Jerry, now what are they saying in the Wallace pit?
Bob, I'm not going to say Rusty lacks confidence in the Rabbits, but I won't go that far. But he just radioed a minute ago and said, hey, tell Rick Mass in the 1 car and Bodine in the 11 that when this thing quick, not to run over me, please.
That is a strong confidence.
Rusty moved over to get a little bit of draft off the 26 car, and unfortunately, Hudson Strickland had a great run off the pace down on the inside.
Yeah, he just went a lap down.
Rusty Wallace's best finish in this race previously, a 6th in 93.
I think he ran out of gas. Rusty Wallace is out of fuel coming off the second corner. Man, he tried. He ran 5 laps to go.
4.5 laps to go, and we have a crash off of turn 4. It's Terry Labonte. And now,
And there's no caution. He's down on the pit road, Bob. He's out of harm's way.
He's going to get the car righted, so we're okay. No caution, but Rusty Wallace has run out of fuel.
And so now it'll be settled between Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin.
And they should be coming around. Here they come off the 4th corner. Hooked together. There's Rusty making his way to his pit for some fuel. Meanwhile, it is Earnhardt and Martin first and second at the line.
By Dave Marcus. How many laps?
4 to go.
4 to go.
Well, a tough break for Rusty. He gave it his best. Here's what happened to Terry Labonte, our pole sitter.
He comes off the corner. He isn't able to use the racetrack to go up because Darrell Walter was there. Just simply loses it and spins down through the grass. The flaps come up, do their job, and we stay green. Car comes to rest.
Boy, the area that he spun in previous years without the roof flaps could have been a major accident for Terry Labonte.
Wallace is about that down in turn 1. Meanwhile, here comes Earnhardt. And a black flag is out for somebody.
Maybe the 77?
Maybe 5 car. Maybe he had a speeding deal down pit road. I don't know, but the black flag, NASCAR gave to someone.
Terry Labonte went a lap down.
And you know what? Jeff Gordon and Morgan Shepherd are catching these. They might catch him before the race is over. How many laps to go?
Here they are.
And now we see Earnhardt and Mark Martin. That Sterling Martin car is so fast that he is drunk Morgan Shepherd to the front.
They'll catch him. We're going to have a 4-car race here.
Here we are with 2 laps to go. Earnhardt takes the car length over Mark Martin, but coming up quick, Jeff Gordon and Morgan Shepherd being pulled by Sterling Marlin.
Now, as soon as the 4-car gets down to the straightaway, I think you get up to the 6-car, move over, and let these guys race. There he comes down. Let him go.
No, Yep, moves out of the way. He does.
Boy, he should be
Lets him
given
do it.
some kind of a reward.
Gordon ought to get part of the money anyway, don't you think?
Yeah, without him, he never would have been able to get up there.
Just took him up there and said, okay, guys, there you go. Man, we're coming down for the white flag. More lap to go in the Winston Select 500. Martin looking for it. Here they come at the line. The white flag out, 1 lap to go. Martin temporarily takes the lead with Jeff Gordon right behind him. Morgan Shepherd will line up beside Dale Earnhardt for 3rd.
Oh, and Morgan gets the car out of shape. He and Earnhardt both get together.
The roof flaps do their job.
Don't hit him with it.
Oh, hit the wall.
Meanwhile, we got to race back to the line. And he backs across the racetrack.
And Sterling Marlin avoids him.
He just slowed down and got out of the way.
Here we go. It comes down now to a battle between Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon off of corner number 4. Looks to the inside as they come to the tri-oval. Lead them down, however, he's got the advantage. And there's the checkered flag. Mark Martin wins the Winston Select 500. Gordon is 5th. And Morgan Shepherd finishes 3rd.
You talk about a happy bunch that never really won that title. And here's a
Here comes Bill Elliott to the high side of Bobby Labonte. Waltrip led him across the line. Labonte was next, and then Elliott.
There's Mark Martin, the winner of the race. Man, I'm telling you, happy guy.
Bill Weber is with Jack Roush.
Well, there's a big celebration down here, and Jack Roush, congratulations. You're battling for it, heading to victory lane. Ford on a super speedway.
Yeah, Mark and Steve and the guys just been doing a great job this year. You know, the places we haven't been particularly good at, the places where we haven't been particularly good at, we've really excelled this year. I'm in hopes that we can make a real run for this championship. Fantastic.
Scream and shout, Jack, we won a super speedway race.
How about that, Jack? Obviously, you're a big Ford guy. This must mean a lot more to you than just the prize money and the checkered flag and a win.
Well, it's actually making me look pretty silly. You know, I've been making all this noise about our Thunderbird not being equal to Monte Carlo, and I really believe we got some problems in the next 5 years with that car, as long as we're going to have to and facing what they've got. But we did great today. The guys were super.
I'm going to walk over here and get Steve Meal for just a second. He's doing some interviews over here as well. And Steve, I saw your takeoff down pit road there with a few laps left to go. Where were you heading?
I was begging the 21 for help. I knew they had a quicker draft coming behind us, and we were concerned about the 24. I knew my buddy Sterling wasn't getting away, but the 24 is awful good, and all I was doing was begging Eddie Wood that if they go lower, we go high, you got to go with us to the other Ford. And you can see the start-finish line better up there, too. So we're tickled to death.
And your driver went around Dale.
Yeah, he went around Dale right here. I think he caught him a little bit early, although Dale had said on the radio we were going to beat him anyway. I guess they must have rubbed up the backstretch. Maybe the 21 even hit the 3, but we were clear of it, and we're just tickled to death.
You've hung in there all season. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Steve Meal, Mark Martin, Jack Roush, and a Ford team celebrates a win here at Talladega.
And it's Mark Martin's 15th career win, his 9th Superspeedway victory. It is his first win here at Talladega in 19 tries. Here is a look at the last lap coming off turn 2.
Morgan Shepherd. I'm sorry, Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, he gets a little bit loose there, and then Dick Trickle comes up on the inside, and that didn't help the situation. Shepherd goes back up into, I don't think it hurt the situation, though, that Trickle was down there. Shepherd goes back up into Earnhardt, just touches him a little bit and sends him around.
And by the way, Dale Earnhardt ended up unofficially in 11th position. He was able to drive the car around.
I think that's right.
Okay.
You're scoring there, but he did drive the car around. You're right.
And Mark Martin is in victory lane. So is John Kernan.
Well, Mark Martin, instead of drinking the Gatorade, you threw it up in the air. What did you say to your crew when you crossed the line and took the checkered flag?
I don't know, Matt, you should have been here. Harley, man, I just want to thank Cummins and Valvoline and Ford and Goodyear for having a great tire, and especially Jack Roush and Steve Meal and these guys. I guess I said they won them one, and thanks. I'm just real thankful.
Can you hardly believe a super speedway race, a Ford, and last year I remember talking to you after coming out of the infield care center after that big crash that is replayed on ESPN every few weeks. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. With 2 to go, I thought we'd lost for sure. And man, it was just great. Right when we caught Dale, or when the 24 caught us, we caught him just at the right time to get a big shove. And Dale was putting a block on us, but we were coming. We were going one way or the other. So it was just perfect, you know. And I thought that I made an adjustment. I didn't make an adjustment on the last pit stop that I told him I thought I wanted, and then I changed my mind. I thought it cost us the race. Now, as it turned out, it might have cost us the race if we'd have done it. So I was going to take spoiler off of it. And with spoiler off, I might have been able to handle Dale by myself. But with it on there the way it was, I couldn't beat him. And it just worked out just perfect. We're lucky today.
Yeah, I think on Friday, as soon as you guys took the car off the truck, as Jack Roush comes in and gives the handshake, car's been great all weekend for you, hasn't it?
It's been a rocket ship. You know what? I see how they do it now.
How's that?
Fast cars.
Mark Martin with the victory, guys.
Now 5 winners in NASCAR Winston Cup competition so far this year, and let's look at it.
There he tries to go on the inside. Earnhardt blocks him. He tries to go to the outside. Earnhardt goes up there, and here comes Mark. And that is a rocket ship, Ned.
Yes, sir. He had what he needed right there. And then Jeff Gordon came up there behind him and pushed him right on out in front of Earnhardt. And then here comes Morgan Shepherd getting that. His car gets a little bit loose, taps Earnhardt. They get close together and then comes up and taps him again. And that's what spins Earnhardt around.
And Morgan goes on by. And Earnhardt almost got this thing going right there. Almost got it going again, but he comes up and just brushes the wall with the nose of the car.
And we'll change our statistic to 21st for an Earnhardt. Jerry?
Dale walking along here, a wild scramble at the end. What happened?
Got in a wreck.
Did you get a little help up there, Dale, on that last lap?
I don't know. Watch the replay.
Obviously very concerned, Dale Earnhardt. Able to smile a little bit, though, as he was able to back the car back up pit road. But from the in-car camera, you can certainly see maybe what happened.
Clearly contact between the two drivers that sent Dale Earnhardt spinning and finishing in 21st position when he was going for the win. Well, the Family Channel blimp has the shot of victory lane here this afternoon, occupied by Mark Martin. He's the only driver to post 8 top 10 finishes in the first 9 races this year. He's won here today. Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama has produced another winner. Mark Martin has gone to victory lane here. Finishing second was Jeff Gordon, and third was Morgan Shepherd after contact with Dale Earnhardt on the backstretch on the very last lap. And it forced Earnhardt to fall to 21st position as the victory in as the victory lane celebration continues. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And we're here with Morgan Shepherd, and Morgan's had a good finish, but he's not smiling. Your thoughts on the last few laps there?
Well, I don't ever like to feel like that I took somebody out, you know, but we went off into turn 1, and I was going under Earnhardt, and the 15 car, you know, I thought was going to stay behind me, and I drafted right on by, but he pulled down on the inside, and whenever he did, it put us 3 abreast and made my car real loose, and I got up into Earnhardt then and caused him to spin. I hate that. But Citgo Thunderbird had a good run today other than that.
You did have a good run in the 3rd place finish, and I know that will make you feel a little better as the evening goes along.
Well, we struggled all day long. We lost first gear early, and we couldn't get out of the pits, and we would get way behind at the start, and then we'd have to work our way up through there. So we hated to see the green flag stops because we would get so far behind.
Well, Morgan's happy with his finish, but disappointed about how he got there. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, our congratulations to Morgan Shepherd on the 3rd place finish.
Man.
And Dr. Jerry Punch is now with our 4th place finisher, Darrell Waltrip.
DW, what an effort today, man. From 21st back up finishing in 4th spot. Great run.
It was, Jerry. I can't say enough about my crew. You know, I know all of us rave about our crews, but good pit work today. And a real good race car, and thank God for a safe day, and thank God for Western Auto and everybody that's involved. I mean, I thought it was a neat race. Nobody had anything serious happen, some spin outs, but overall I thought it was a pretty neat race.
You came in, topped off that one time, came back out 23 cars from the front, and 4 laps later, you're leading. Man, what happened?
Well, we had lost a piece of tape off the grill through some of that tight running. They put that tape back on. It gave that thing a wake-up call. But maybe I need to come in and put another piece on it because it went like a rocket at that point. But then I got shook out of the draft, and I just got to say, I got to earn my respect. I got to earn my way back up there with Jeff and Mark and some of them. I haven't raced with them boys on the Daytona and Talladega racetrack. So I got to prove to them what I can do. And they're not cutting me a lot of slack. They're not saying, hey, there's DW, let him in. They're saying, hey, there's DW, he'll let us in. And, we just got to get our nose back in there and let them know we'll race them hard. We let them in a lot, but we'll race them hard.
2 weeks in a row, the DW of old. Now, Benny just asked me, said, hey, will you forgive him for saying you're the guy that tapped 18 last week and you weren't?
I'll have to check with Bobby Labonte about that.
Darrell Walter finishes 4th today, Bob.
Benny said that when Darrell called him and called him Ben, he knew he was in trouble. Because Darrell Walter finishes 4th here today. Mark Martin is your winner.
Jeff Gordon and his entourage of media followers are all crowded around here in the garage area. Jeff, a great victory for you. Have you said thank you to Sterling Marlin for pulling you up there?
Yeah, I did. I had to go over and thank him. We haven't always agreed on everything in the past, but he's been working with me. I've been working with him the last few races, pretty much all this season, and he really helped me out today. And I mean, Morgan in the 15 was a lap car that helped us out also. So those 4 cars helped us get up to the front. I thought our chances were over with about 10-15 to go, and all of a sudden with 5 to go, man, we start reeling them in.
Now, I said victory. What I meant points. I believe if all the calculations I'm hearing, you and Earnhardt are tied for the points lead right now.
Well, that's fine and dandy. That's great, but it's very early in the season. I can be excited about that, but I don't want to get focused on that and lose track, and that's a lot of pressure. I mean, nobody has taken that title away from him in a long time, and I'm sure he wouldn't know what to feel like without that title. So we're trying, but we're just trying to be consistent. We've done that the last 4 or 5 races. It's paid off for us. That DuPont Chevrolet's been on victory lane, already 3 times, but they've finished 2nd and 3rd quite a few times now too. Seems like we've gotten that bad luck streak out of the way, knock on wood, and Earnhardt's having some right now. But that goes round and round just like the Ford Chevy battle.
Now, do you know about the $100,000 bonus if you're leading? And I guess if you two are in fact tied, you got more wins, so that should be your money to pocket, I guess.
Well, R.J. Reynolds does a whole lot for this sport, and I think we lose track of that sometimes. And, the millions that they put into the whole championship, plus, adding that $100,000 bonus, that's great. So if we win it or if we don't win it, it's still a great thing that they do for the sport.
Yeah, I tell you what, the last time I told somebody they had won something, Kyle said he needed it from a higher authority at Watkins Glen. I think Jeff's going to have to wait for higher authority here.
All right. Jeff finishes 2nd. Mark Martin is your winner. We'll be back with the rundown and points in a moment.